Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here on this fine Sunday afternoon from Daytona International Speedway. It is the Outcast Racing League Series finale. All things start in real life NASCAR at Daytona, while here in the Outcast Racing League, we like to end things here at Daytona International. So these drivers have 500 laps, 500 miles, or no, 200 laps, 500 miles of racing action here this afternoon. It's going to be a long day. It's very hot. The sun is shining here in the beautiful Sunshine State at the World Center of Racing. And these drivers, they're going to have to keep their game face on all evening long. They cannot make any mistakes. You do not want to put yourself out of the driver's seat early on in this race, with the big one lurking around the corner, whether or not it may be at the start of the race or the end of the race. You want to be there at the end. You want to give yourself that opportunity, that chance to try and pick up the championship and or just a good finish to finish off the season. But everyone's going to be working with their teammates. They're going to be working with each other out there on the racetrack to try to help push each other to the end and to a win here this afternoon. As drivers are out on the racetrack right now, it is a open qualifying session, so they're going to lay down some qualifying lap times. They're going to look to try to put down some good laps, try to put themselves into a decent starting position, but qualifying not crucial here at Daytona. You don't need to start at the front of the field. You can start at the back of the pack. You can make your way to the front in a quick hurry here at Daytona. If you can find an open lane, if you can get some pushing help to your back bumper, you can work your way to the front rather quickly here at Daytona. So that's exactly what these drivers are going to be looking to do. They're going to be moving around. They're going to be searching throughout this race for different dancing partners. And if you run into some issues out there on the racetrack, you know, if your teammates run into issues, and you may be a lone wolf out there on the speedway, you may have to try to find some other friends that may help you later in this race, or where you can try to help them as qualifying has come to a close. So that means we are going to get ready here for our main feature event. Our main is about to get underway. These drivers are going to get ready to jump out onto the racetrack here to get their day started here. 500 miles on the docket, chat. 500 miles. This is going to be a long race, as the Outcast Racing League says. Good luck today, gents. Cheering on all the drivers here this afternoon as everybody tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to go to battle. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be very intense back and forth racing, right from the drop of the green flag right down to the checkered flag, as drivers are going to start to get lined up down on pit road. And this is where things are going to get very interesting. Things are going to get very fun here in a quick hurry, as drivers are going to get loaded in down there on pit road. We will get ready to go through our starting order here at Daytona International Speedway, as there's a lot of very fast drivers out there on the racetrack. And starting on the pole, it will be the 77 ride, that Quantum Motorsports Shenco Custom Diecast PeaceMaker Gaming number 77. That is Casey Gross. To his outside in that Shenco Custom Diecast, the Williamsburg Contracting number 28 ride, it is Kevin Kazar who will start in position number 2. So Kazar will start there in that second spot on the speedway. Starting in position number 3 is the Lawrence Tech Williamsburg Contracting Racing number 70 ride of Mike Killing. Back to his outside is that beautiful looking ride. We saw the 00 pick up that championship, or pick up the win last week and the ticket to the championship here at Bristol Motor Speedway last week, sporting this brand new looking paint scheme. And Colton Manich in that 00 looking very fresh. The Kick KD January 26th, the Shenco Custom Diecast, the Williamsburg Contracting 00 ride will start there in position number 4. Starting in position number 5 in the Elite Sim Racing, the NOS Energy number 49 ride, that is Kurt Sponsler. And to his outside in the Elite Sim Racing ZZX Digital, Number 3 machine, the man from Ireland, it is Al Reed, who will start there in position number 6. Starting in position number 7 in the RT3 Designs, the number 6 machine, another Elite Sim racing ride. That is the 6, Robert Duiscu, who will start there in 7th to his outside. Another one of his teammates here is the Elite Sim Racing Rockstar Energy John Deere, number 15 of Cameron Combs. Starting in position number 9 in the must-love Poodles number 9 machine, that is Tyler Humphrey. And rounding out our top 10 in the beautiful Texaco. Beautiful looking number 13 right here. There he goes. He's going to roll out onto the racetrack. Is everybody ready to rock and roll? It's the Texaco Valvoline number 13. That is James Garland. Rounding out our top 10. Starting in position number 11 in the number 76 ride. Different looking paint scheme for him here, but he does have that Quantum Motorsports logo on the car. That is Caleb McKinney to his outside in the number 5 ride. That is Brandon Buffenbarger. Starting in position number 13 in the 23s, the WeatherTech ride. That is the beautiful looking ride of Austin Smith. To his outside will be the number... the 20 ride of Corey Crowell, who will start there in 14th. Adolfo Castillo there in the 15th position. And then we see the number 60 ride. That is Johnny Thunders, another Quantum Motorsports Shenco custom diecast ride back there in the 16th position. The Lugnuts Racing 21 ride of Darrell Whitford will start there in 17th. You'll have the number 17 of Bryant Newingham there in the 18th position. Starting in 19th will be the 82 ride. That is Joshua Neal. To his outside will be the 16 of Gary Wright. And then we see the 02 of Chad Lancaster, the 84 of Wayne Garland. And then 2 drivers that did not make the call to start this race here. The 99 rider Chris Muse will have to start down pit side, and same with Dom Salvo. Salvo will also start down pit road here to start this evening. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 500 miles, 200 laps, ready to rock and roll with the Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting Outcast Racing League Series Finale. As quickly, the green flag is in the air, and we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as Casey Gross leads us down into corner number 1 for the first time here this afternoon. 200 laps, 500 miles, and out in front, lead the way on lap number 1. It's Casey Gross, our pole sitter, looking to try to hold on to this top spot of the outside lane. Starting to build some momentum. Some of those Shenco cars working together, and they're going to push the Lawrence Tech Williamsburg Contracting Racing ride. The 70 of Mike Killingback now to the front of the field. Is down the back straightaway. He'll jump out in front, down out at corner number 4, getting a great shove from the 28 ride. Here comes Colton Manich right there to their back bumper. They're going to slide down in front of Casey Gross, and it's Mike Killingback who will lead lap number 1 here this afternoon. Lap number 1 being led as we do see Wayne Garland, who had to make a pass through penalty. Wayne did have to come down pit side there on the opening area, and he's now back out on the racetrack. Unfortunately, no dancing partners, no help out there for that 84 ride. And we do see Chris Muse back down pit road again as well. A pass-through penalty here for the 99 ride after having to start down on pit road. He's going to be at risk of potentially going a lap down in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. And Dom Salvo also still off the racetrack, not out there on the speedway, so a tough break for the number 19 ride and for the Williamsburg Contracting Racing team, because that's one of their teammates not out there on the racetrack. But they're working well together right now, as out in front it is Mike Killingback. Killingback leading the way here with Kevin Kazar right there on his back bumper. Colton Manich back there in third. Cameron Combs in position number 4 and looking for more as Al Reed, his teammate, now out in front, leading that inside lane as the Elite Sim Racing teammates all working their way up towards the front. Now they're looking to join this fun and try to maybe jump up into and take this race lead away. His 3 Elite Sim Racing rides there on the inside lane, and Cameron Combs right there in that 7th position as well. I'm sure he'd love to jump down low and join his 3 teammates, but it looks like the 77 of Casey Groves will stick right there on their back bumper as we do get a new race leader here, just ever so slightly. The 3 ride of Al Reed able to jump up and take that race lead away from the 70 of Killingbeck. As door-to-door racing action here at Daytona International Speedway, things are starting to pick up just ever so slightly. Just ever so slightly, the intensity is starting to grow as Play for Cheese, Colton Manich, and Marie Davis all coming in, showing the big love here with the reactions on the stream. Anne Marie says, good luck, James Garland, love you, Babeski, cheering on James and her Babeski there, her Pookie there on the racetrack, as Colton Manich also says, let's go, gonna be a good one. Survival not only on track, but also for equipment. Yeah, 100%. The equipment, everything has got to work perfectly here for you all evening long. Let's get this overlay working again here as well. Make sure that's working good. As Chris Muse says, good luck, guys. Good luck, Chris. I know you're going to need it, brother, after a tough start here in this one. Tough start already here this afternoon. Obviously, coming to start down pit side, making that pass-through penalty, and now having to try to stay on the lead lap. Luckily enough, though, you can probably get a lap or 2 back in a quick hurry here at Daytona. As there you go, you do see the 99 rider Chris Muse up and out of the way. He will fall as our first driver a lap down out here on the Speedway. As they're going to blow on by him, he's going to look to try to gain this little bit of draft onto their back bumpers and hope to stay here in that free pass position, as Wayne Garland may be at risk of being the next driver to go a lap down. Now, as he heads down into quarter number 3, our race leaders are just rolling out at quarter number 2, so he's got a bit of straightaway advantage still on them, but they're catching up to him in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack. Out in front, Al Reed, Robert Tuiscu 1 and 2 with Kurt Sponsler. They're in position number 3, door-to-door with Mike Killingbeck. Casey Gross and Kevin Kazar battling door-to-door there for the 5th position here on the racetrack, and look at who's been making his way up and through the field. Up 14 positions already, the Quantum Motorsports number 02 ride. Everybody better look out. Here is the N Sea NSB number 02, Chad Lancaster, working his way up and through the field here. Now up and around Kevin Kazar. He's on his march to the front of the field. Started all the way back in 21st position here this afternoon. Started back in 21st and now finds himself battling for a top 5 out there on the racetrack. Heck of a run and drive so far for that 02 ride. Is the 00 Colton Manich trying to work to his outside, as here comes the 31, his teammate there, Adolfo Castillo, onto the back bumper of Chad Lancaster. They also got the 15 of Cameron Combs right there with them, as now you do see James Garland and Chris Muse. They're going to jump down to the inside lane. They're going to try to help out that inside groove and trying to pass some of these Williamsburg Contracting rides. Look out! Oh no! Contact hard up into the outside fence. Casey Gross. Oh no! Big one down out of quarter number 2 early on in this race. Cameron Combs collected, Casey Gross in there, the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey. And then we also saw the 02 of Chad Lancaster, Adolfo Castillo, the 00 of Colton Manich getting tied up here in this one. Potentially more drivers here. Heavy damage down and out at quarter number 2 as our first caution flag of the day will be displayed here, as contact up towards the front, and you see that 00 or the 00 ride up on the high side. Nowhere for him to go as the 02 Lancaster coming right up over his nose and his teammate's nose of Adolfo Castillo. They slam up into the outside fence. A couple more drivers trying to get out of the way here. You see Cameron Combs. Look at the contact there into the inside wall or outside wall. Same with the 77. When Cameron comes back up the racetrack, collects the 9 ride. Must love Poodles. Tyler Humphrey machine. He goes around there as well. Doesn't look like too much contact there for Tyler, but let's take another look back at it. Let's take another look at it here. It looks like it starts with the 6 ride right there. Not sure what happens, but let's take a look here. Robert Tuiscu See if we can get another angle here. Really get a good look at the contact. So you watch the 6 ride. Second car in line behind our race leader. Now it's all teammates here. 1, 2, and 3. The Elite Sim Racing. The 49 goes down low. Unfortunately gets underneath the 6 ride right there. Makes contact with him. That gets him sideways down onto the apron. And now everyone there is trying to check up. The 77 checks up. The 02 trying to get checked up. Unfortunately could not stop quick enough. And he gets into the back of the 77, which puts Casey down onto the apron. He comes back onto the racetrack, and that's where you see that contact of the 02 up the speedway into his teammate of Adolfo Castillo. Nowhere to go for Colton Manich. And then these guys continue on as the mayhem unfolds back here behind them. Everyone else, unfortunately, not a whole lot of space or a whole lot of room to go here, and they just continue to get bounced around, and nowhere to go for Colton Manich, nowhere to go for a bunch of these drivers. As watch Colton Manich up here, you see Cameron Combs and 77. You do see the 60 rod getting checked up and stopped in time. Good piece of driving right there from him and the number 5 ride as Brandon Puffenbarger able to also get stopped there on the outside lane, able to stay out of any of that additional contact there. Good thing they were not still on the throttle, or else they may have made that situation even worse. As let's take a look here at where's the 9 rider, Tyler Humphrey. I don't think Humphrey ended up with too much damage here. Now he's able to work his way through this, and luckily enough, almost gets all the way through it. And then right there, that contact between him and the 15 ride. Pretty good link there to that right rear, but luckily enough doesn't make any other contact with any walls or any other cars, and we'll get that car rolling once again. So it looks like very minimal damage there for that 9 machine, as he's going to have a bit of a ride through this one. I think he's going to have a bit of a scary look. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this number 9 machine of Tyler Humphreys. He's going to get a great look at this one. There's the initial contact with the 6 and the 49, then the 02 and the 77, then all of a sudden, pile up there, they're going around him, and unfortunately just gets tagged and goes around. Oh man, almost made it all the way through there. Let's take a look from the 00, Colton Manich, see what he can see here, as he did not get a whole lot of time or anything to really try to do anything. He was just wrong place, wrong time, and unfortunately that's Daytona, that's International Speedway Racing, and literally nothing that he could have done right there. That's a heartbreaker for Colton Manich. Last week's winner coming in with a whole head of steam, knowing that he has a good car and everything else, and now early on having to try to get those repairs or use that quick repair. That may hurt him later in this race. We do see Cameron Combs still down on pit road, getting his car repaired, multiple laps down now for the 15. Brian Terrell Whitford coming back out onto the racetrack here, as I do believe Adolfo Castillo also a couple laps down, or potentially a lap down. Same with Casey Gross. We'll have to wait and see how it all lines up here, but it does look like potentially a couple drivers now potentially down a lap. We'll have to wait and see. I do believe Casey is getting back onto the lead lap. I do believe Adolfo may be getting back onto the lead lap here as well. He may have been able to roll back out there before going a lap down. So good break there for the 31 ride as well. Now he's just got to join the back of the pack here. He's still got about 30 seconds between himself and the back of the field, but luckily enough he's coming with a big head of steam. You see him coming out of corner number 2 right there, gonna try to rejoin the rear of the field here and get ready to rock and roll once again. As we do take a look back, we did see Chris Muse. Now Muse, who ran into those issues early on in this race, went down a lap. The first driver a lap down. He was loving seeing that caution flag, as he's gonna get that lucky donk, and he finds himself back on the lead lap here this afternoon. So the 99 ride back onto the lead lap here this evening. He will get ready to duke it out here once again and see if he can try to pick up the win this afternoon, as everyone ready to rock and roll, everyone ready to go back to battle, and we get a new set of drivers at the front of the field. It's James Garland. Garland now out in front. James leads the way with the 17 ride of Bryant Newingham to his outside. Wayne Garland there in position number 3, right there behind him. But you do see the inside lane. Not a great race start here Brian Newingham not getting onto the throttle as quickly as I think he would like to, and it's kind of broken him up here just a little bit, and inside lane just started to pull away here. You do see Killingback about to jump up and clear that number 17 line as well as Newingham trying to figure out how to get this car figured out, trying to get it pointed the right direction. Al Reed trying to decipher where he needs to go to try to help this number 17 ride out, or to try to keep himself out of trouble. And looks like he's going to drop down to the inside lane. So is Kurt Sponsler. They're potentially freight train the 17 ride, and unfortunately for the Grains Millers, number 17, he may be sliding backwards here in a quick hurry as everyone gonna just try to work their way down and around him here, and fortunately that's what you get. Not a good restart, not a good look there through a couple of those corners, and you get put backwards, and drivers will move around you in a quick hurry. They'll take that opportunity to try to beat you out there on the racetrack, and unfortunately for Brian Dillingham, restarts second all the way back in position number 10 now. Is out in front. It is James Garland. Garland leading the way here in this one, as Garland out in front, showing these drivers how to do it again here in this one, as Outcast Racing League says multiple championship contenders, Quantum and ERS. Curtis McKinney says number 76, focus and relax. Outcast Racing League says 00, 77, 15, all contenders. Yeah, all contenders. A lot of contenders right there tied up in that first caution flag. And we'll check in, see how they're doing deeper in the field here. Colton Manish still rolling about the 20th position on the racetrack. Really hasn't made up any ground. Same with Casey Gross, who's actually now a driver without draft out there on the racetrack. Maybe that damage still on the front end of this 77 ride, still hurting him too much out there on the speedway. Same with Lancaster, as both these drivers now without any drafting partners in there, running about 4 seconds, if not more, slower than our race leaders right now. So they're going to be potentially going a lap down in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack. And then Cameron Combs still down pit road here. The number 15 ride still down on pit road. Definitely not a spot you want to be if you're one of those championship contenders. And you do see that beautiful number 15 ride still down on pit lane, still not getting any work done. And fortunately, just seeing his championship opportunity pull away from him out the front windshield, as they just keep on steamrolling around the racetrack and leaving him back there in the dust, putting him farther and farther behind here in this race, where it may become insurmountable to regain the amount of laps that he may need to be back in contention here this afternoon. As Wayne Garland looking to the outside here at James Garland for the race lead. Excuse me for a second. As James Garland able to hang on to the race lead there. Wayne Garland, though, still looking to his outside, but here comes Mike Killingback. Killingback with a great run right to the back bumper of that number 13 machine, able to push him out in front and keep James Garland as our race leader. Kevin Fitzgerald right there in that picture, as well as now you do see Johnny Thunders up inside the top 5 as well. Good run so far for Mr. Thunders out here on the speedway, as Aaron Reed and Robert Tuiscu right there. The Elite Sim Racing rides kind of trying to work together once again here on the racetrack, as that's where we saw the initial contact, and reasoning for that first caution flag was between the 49 and the 6 ride. Teammates, unfortunately, just maybe a miscommunication out there on the racetrack. The contact being made, getting the 6 ride bent out of shape, which then kind of got everyone else collected in that first yellow flag. And unfortunately, we do see a couple of our championship contenders still struggling out there on the racetrack. Colton Manish there at the tail end of this field, and right now still getting that draft, still hanging on here, maybe trying to play it a little bit more safe out there on the racetrack, knowing that, man, he's got a lot of laps, a lot of time to go. May have already used that quick repair up on that 00 ride, and may not want to be put into a situation where he may have to be down pit side for an extended period of time. So he may have to just try to hang on, keep this car back here towards the rear of the field, trying to stay on the lead lap and be there at the end of this race. It's going to be survival of the fittest, like Colton said early in this race. Survival of the fittest and survival of the equipment out there. And right now, he's already used up some of that equipment. Needs to keep this next thing perfect out there on the speedways. You do see the 77 of Casey Gross and Chad Lancaster. They're trying to work together. Now they have found quite a bit of extra speed here working together on the racetrack, but they're trying to keep themselves from going a lap down out there on the speedway. And right now, they find themselves quite a ways behind the rest of the field right now. So not a good spot for Casey, not a good spot for Chad Lancaster, and obviously still not a very good spot for Cameron Combs, as we do see Combs back out there on the racetrack. Now I'm not 100% sure how many laps down this number 15 ride may be, but I do know it is quite a lot of laps, and he's about to go another lap down. So he is 7 laps down. He's about to go 8 laps down as he gets up into the outside fence there as well, trying to avoid being in the way of any of our race leaders here. And unfortunately for Cameron Combs, now 8 laps down on the racetrack, and that is not a good spot to be out there if you're one of those championship contenders, knowing that you're one of the first ones to have that major issue and now be out of potentially the picture here for that championship. Definitely a heartbreaker there for Cameron. He's hoping for a bunch of quick caution flags and a bunch of quick opportunities to get those laps back and maybe get the lucky dogs and maybe slowly work his way back into contention here this afternoon. As Anne-Marie Davis says, "That's my dang man right there. Go James," cheered on Mr. Garland, as James Garland leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done, as the Texaco Halvoline number 13 machine at the front of the field with Mike Killingback right there on his back bumper. A pair of those Williamsburg Contracting racing rides in that second and third position. And then we see a couple of the Elite Sim racing rides of Al Reed and Kurt Sponsler there in 4th and 5th on the Speedway. Gary Wright having himself a great day, as Gary right there in position number 6 here on the Speedway. Gary looking very good out there on the racetrack with Robert Tuiscu right there behind him in position number 7. Wayne Garland, they're looking to the outside of that 6 right, trying to work his way into that 7th spot here on the racetrack, looking for maybe a little bit more, as here comes Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey in the 9th position, working himself around the lap traffic of Cameron Combs right there, as our 10th place driver a little farther back here. A little bit of a gap starting to brew between 9th and 10th on the racetrack, as Johnny Thunders, they're in that 10th position, as Caleb McKinney right there on his back bumper, as you see 3 of these Quantum Motorsports rides all trying to work together out there on the racetrack, as that's Caleb McKinney, Adolfo Castillo, Johnny Thunders, all right there together with Brian Ewingham back here in the 13th position. Austin Smith there in 14th with Joshua Neal, Corey Crowell, and Brandon Buffenbarger all right there together. Chris Muse right there with them, and Daryl Whitford, Colton Manich, Casey Gross, Chad Lancaster, Cameron Combs, our top 23. Dom Salvo would be our 24th place driver. Unfortunately, he has yet to join us out there on the racetrack, as you do take a look here at this pack right here. Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, Corey Crowell, and Brandon Puffenbarger. They're just working together here. This is I believe this is the Midwest Sim Sports team out there on the racetrack, and they're just working together slowly but surely out here on the Speedway, trying to make sure that they're not making too many mistakes, or making sure that they're just trying to cruise out here a little bit, trying to wait till later in this race to maybe make some moves, maybe put themselves into a position where they got to use those quick repairs up or anything else. So you start to see a lot of this teamwork starting to come out here, and a lot of this teamwork right at the get-go is where we saw that first initial issue with some of those drivers. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be where, who's going to help who, and who's going to be able to keep their car out of trouble and keep themselves up towards the front of the field here late in this race, as we still got a lot of racing action left to go. We're only on lap number 23 of 200. There is 23 coming to a close, 25 now up onto the board. I do believe this next lap by will be, I don't even know, what is that? quarter, an eighth of the way, something like that. 15% through this race, somewhere around there. Still a lot of laps left to go here in this one, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of laps, a lot of racing left to go here this afternoon. So getting tied up in issues, having problems out there on the speedway early on is not very ideal. So you just want to try to play it safe, keep your car out of trouble. Make sure you're there at the end to put yourself into a position to maybe pick up a win here this afternoon. As we'll take a look here and see, we do know that we should get stage breaks as well. I do believe lap number 50 and lap number 100, we should see stage breaks. So that could be a blessing, could be a disguise here for a lot of these drivers. We'll have to wait and see how all the strategy will play out here, as well as when we start to see these drivers have to come down pit road. That's where things really get broken up, with teams kind of broken up here. The real life NASCAR racing with the manufacturing, manufacturer teammates coming together. You normally see all the Toyotas, you see all the Chevys, you see all the Fords coming down pit road at the same time during green flag pit stops. Now, I'm not sure if we'll see that here this afternoon or not. I'm not sure if we'll see a lot of these drivers or the manufacturers working together, as a lot of the teams are all different manufacturers. And take a look even back here at a couple of these drivers in the Midwest Motorsports crew. The 23, the 82 are both running Chevrolets. I do believe the other two are both Toyotas there for Corey Crowell and Brandon Puffenbarger. So running different manufacturers is not going to work here, especially with a lot of these different drivers on different teams running different manufacturers. It's just not going to work out. So it's going to be basically teams trying to work together here and trying to navigate when they come down pit road. And now some of them may be planning potentially, okay, why don't we hang back a little bit? We'll see when these other guys do come down pit road. We'll come down at the same time as them and try to stay together and keep that one big pack together, where you never know when that team may decide to just come down pit road early, leave everyone else left up to dust. But you want to make sure you have numbers on your side going forward, and maybe leaving one team or two teams high and dry out there on the racetrack. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that's going to play out, how these drivers are going to have to navigate that pit strategy out there on the racetrack throughout this evening. And knowing that they were down pit road around that lap number I want to say lap number 10 when we saw that caution flag or so. Lap number 11, lap number 10 when we saw them come down pit road, and they were able to get some fuel, they were able to get some tires and everything else. But you got to make sure that they can keep on rocking and rolling out there, as we have seen a couple of drivers unfortunately run into issues. Chris Muse running into an issue here. Chris Muse in the 99 ride. He's kind of by himself deeper in the field here. Not sure what happens to the 99. Looks like, I don't know, something broke in that right front. We may have to take a look back farther and see if he had any additional contact here. But he stopped on the racetrack. Everyone able to go by him there. No caution flag on the speedway. He does take this car down pit side. Let's see if there was any additional contact prior to this. Had to have been a long time ago here. So I don't know what may have happened here with Chris Muse, but unfortunately, that car just going to shoot up the racetrack down here in corner number 1 and 2 and up into the outside fence. Don't really see too much damage on the right front, but oh yeah, look at that. Did a tire explode? What happened here? This is very interesting. This is going to be wild to watch. Let's see if we can get a rear camera view of this 99 ride. I wonder if its actual wheel in iRacing, his iRacing wheel may have broken. Because it looks like both tires at the same time kind of both just turned to the left. His wheel stopped working. Oh no! Oh no! A heartbreaker right there for Chris Muse. That's exactly what we were looking at with his wheel. And unfortunately here for Chris Muse, his tough day getting even tougher here is right there. You see the hands just instantly turn right there, and up into the outside fence. The worst time to have something like that happen. Of course, it couldn't happen down the back straightaway or something where you can keep it going and hope to get it restarted or something. But he does take this car down pit road and fortunately off the racetrack right now. We also saw Brian Ewingham make his way down pit lane here as well. Now, he's going to come down pit road. I don't know if it's actually on pit road. No, he doesn't actually come onto the pit lane. He just goes onto the pit lane, not down pit road. So, hopefully no penalties there for hitting that lane right there. But doesn't look like it. He's going to be able to keep on rocking and rolling there on the racetrack. Is out in front. Starting to see some more drivers start to make some moves here as James Garland continues to lead the way. James out in front, but the outside lane working their way to the front of the pack here. And you do see the driver that's pushing them there. It is that 6 rider, Robert Tuisku, who brought that first caution flag in, that started that first caution flag in. He's pushing his teammate, one of the drivers that got collected in that caution, who was 8 laps down, but now working to the outside of our race leaders. Cameron Gomes looking to try to gain another lap and put himself to only 7 laps down here on the Speedway. And I believe as of right now still in the lucky dog position. He's still the first car. No, he's not the first car 1 lap down. Chris Hughes is the first car 1 lap down, but Hughes still not out there on the racetrack. And soon enough, we will see Cameron Combs elapse the number 99 ride and move himself into the 22nd position and potentially in that lap back. Maybe a big work here for the 15 ride, and if he gets that quick caution flag after taking back a lap, maybe he can gain 2 laps back there, and all of a sudden he's from 8 laps down to only 6 laps down and potentially trying to get some more lucky dogs with caution flags and working himself back onto the lead lap here. I mean, it's going to be a tall task, especially with a pair of drivers right there in front of him about to go 1 lap down here. If Casey Gross and Chad Lancaster both go a lap down, that will move the 15 machine of Cameron Gomes out of that free pass position and remove one of the other 2 into that free pass spot as they both jump down to the apron here. They're going to let our race leaders go on by, so that is going to move the 77 of Casey Gross and the 02 of Chad Lancaster, both a lap down now on the racetrack. A tough break right there for both of those drivers as the N Sea NSB 02 finds himself a lap down in the Quantum Motorsports 77 ride. The Outcast Racing League machine of Casey Gross a lap down as well. This is a heartbreaker there for Casey Gross, another one of our championship contenders. Into early race issues here this afternoon. A heartbreaker right there for him as yo, Eric, Mr. Tetero. How are you, Eric? Eric coming in, setting it off with the 50-star dono. How are you, Eric? How are you, brother? How you doing this afternoon, man? We cannot wait to see you guys back out there on the racetrack here in a week's time with the Key West Racing League. Obviously, another week off here for holidays, but we can't wait to get you guys back out there in a couple weeks' time. Right back into the racing action, man. We can't wait for it. We can't wait for it as here we go. More drivers starting to come down pit road. It's the 13 rider, James Garland. Garland gonna come down pit side here all by his lonesome. I don't know if this is just an unscheduled pit stop for this 13 ride because he is the only driver down pit road here. And I think this one is going to hurt him quite a bit. Not having anyone else out there on the racetrack with him. This is very tough for that 13 machine as only lap 35, I do believe, potentially not coming down pit road during that first caution flag. His fuel is starting to run out, especially running at the front of the field, having to be full throttle leading this race. And for the 13 ride, having that fuel issue, now starting to run out of fuel, having to make his way down pit side. Now finds himself a lap down as well here, I do believe, or at least he's going to be very close to being a lap down out there on the racetrack. He may not be fully a lap down here. Take a look here. No, he's not completely a lap down yet, but he is going to be very close to potentially going a lap down, and with no drafting help out there on the racetrack, he most definitely may go a lap down, as we do see Colton Manich and Darrell Whitford there just a little bit in front of him. Both drivers here just trying to work together, trying to use a little bit of draft off of each other here at the front of the field. But unfortunately, Both these drivers, not a whole lot of drafting help here, and they may be at risk of going to lap down as well. They got to hope to see this caution flag in a quick hurry, and or the stage break here at lap number 50, where they can try to stay on the lead lap as more and more drivers start to run into these issues. Now we do see Casey Gross and Chad Lancaster both down pit side here as well, so more tough breaks there for the 02 and the 77 out there on the racetrack. Is out in front, it's Robert Tuiscu pushing his teammate, the 15, Cameron Combs. Combs is bound to try to get a lap back here. If he can stay at the front of these lead lap drivers, he will stay a lap ahead of them and at least 7 laps down out there on the racetrack. Now, he may have to try to do this multiple more times and try to keep himself here in front of the race leaders to try and gain as many positions and laps back as possible out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, he is no longer in that free pass position, but trying to race his way back onto the lead lap, as you do see the 02 and the 77 of Casey Gross and Chad Lancaster both about to go another lap down out there on the racetrack. So a tough break for both of those competitors. Now a couple laps down, as Eric Tetero says, next week, bro. Yes, sir, next week. Not wait to see QS Racing League Sunday night back in action here on PeaceMaker Gaming, and see a lot of our other leagues coming back here over the next week as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see all these guys get back in here, as we do see Wayne Garland, another one of those drivers that did not make that initial pit stop during the first caution flag, now having to be forced down pit road here in the 84 of Wayne Garland down into his pit box. Going to look to get some fuel and some work done to the 84. Looks like he's going to get some tires here as well, at least right sides, and we'll see if the left side does get jacked up. We can't really see from that area, but we do believe he is getting jacked up and worked on here again, so he's going to get rolling back down pit road, but making that pit stop here and no one out there with them. That's where the big issues really come into play. You want to come down pit road with a big group of drivers. You want to be able to make sure that you have partners down pit road with you that can make those pit stops and come out together. Keep that draft rolling out there on the speedway. Right now, we don't really see that for a few of these drivers. Wayne Garland and James Garland, both the rides of Casey Gross and Chad Lancaster kind of running into those issues, and unfortunately it's not helping their situations out even or anymore. Just kind of being lone wolves out there on the racetrack. We do see James Garland, though. He's able to get back into the fun here at the front of the field. Now he's looking to try to push the outside lane back out in front, but with him already making that pit stop, he's the first driver any lap down out there on the racetrack here. But everyone else really around him still has to make a pit stop. They still have to come down pit road and make these green flag pit stops here. So we do see Brian Newingham. Here comes another driver by himself, headed down pit side. Another questionable move here. Single car pit stops. The communication for some of the spotters and some of the teams here definitely not working out perfectly so far this afternoon, as this is a huge mistake coming down pit road by yourself. You just never know when you're going to be able to jump out there. But Brian Newingham times it perfectly as the caution flag is going to be displayed. Caution flag going to come out as the 13 rider James Garland turned around on the back straightaway. I do believe that was the 15 that Cameron Combs collected there with him. Let's take a look back and see what happens, as they were almost 3 wide right here. I think they were trying to roll around this number 84 rider, Wayne Garland. Wayne right there, and you see the 13 just kind of getting squirrely there, not knowing which lane to take, and unfortunately he goes around and ends up hitting the 15 rider, Cameron Combs. Nowhere to go for Cameron, and that's the second time Cameron's had that virtual same issue out there on the racetrack. The first one put him 7-8 laps down on the speedway. This one, not as much contact or damage, as he did not get into the outside fence. But let's take another look at this one. Let's take a look from the blimp here, as unfortunately I do believe Now Reed and Robert Tuiscu also going to get collected. Watch the 13 right. He moves down low to try to avoid the 84, but realizes that he got a little too close to the 15, then tries to straighten back out, gets a little too close to the 84, back up the racetrack as the car is just getting unbalanced and moving around so much, and gets down into that 15 right. Look at how Reed does a great job of it as Robert Tuiscu nowhere to go. That's Kurt Sponsler who ends up getting in there, getting a big piece of that 15 right, and then it's Caleb McKinney also getting in there, getting a piece of the 49 as Tuiscu really nowhere to go here as he was just trying to hang on and keep himself out of trouble right there. There's nothing that he could really do. Let's take a look here. We jump on board with James Garland, see what he can see here from the cockpit of this number 13 ride as he's coming out of corner number 2, sees this 84 ride and trying to decipher where he needs to go as he was catching up to him in a quick hurry. And then he goes around. And unfortunately, a bunch of other drivers also collected there in that one. A lot of tore-up race cars right there. That's a tough break for a bunch of these competitors out there as they just really had nowhere to go out there on the racetrack. When we look at Robert Tuiscu or Al Reed or any of these other guys, they just, unfortunately, not a lot that they could have done right there. So let's take a look here. The chase camera with this number 3 machine as my boy Chris Pilo. What's good, Chris? How are you, Chris? Mr. Pilo coming in showing the love is doing a great job able to avoid him here. Now he is going to get maybe a little bit of damage right there going over to some of the bus stop jumps there on the infield and some grass on the grill, but fortunately for Robert Tuiscu, not a whole lot that he could have done right there. Same with Kurt Sponsler. Kurt's going to slide in here. He's going to make some pretty good contact with the front end of the 15 ride here as he's trying to avoid it right there. Front left damage and rear left damage as Caleb McKinney also gets a piece of him in. Bunch of tore up race cars, a lot of drivers with some damage, and unfortunately, that's going to really mix things up here once again. Obviously, some drivers not having to make that green flag pit stop out there on the speedway. Other drivers that have already made that green flag pit stop got to be looking for potentially a wave around or the free pass or something as Wayne Garland, he's looking for it. He's hoping to get that lucky dog, the free pass back onto the lead lap, but we do see Brandon Puffenbarger down pit side here, bit of an extended pit stop there for him. We do see Kurt Sponsler rolling back out onto the racetrack here. James Garland, one of the lap down drivers who was in the lucky dog position before that caution flag, but being a part of that caution flag just does not give him that wave around, unfortunately, here this afternoon. And Casey Gross also a lap down out there on the racetrack, multiple laps down now, I do believe, for Casey. Same with Chad Lancaster and Cameron Combs, still multiple laps down. Chris Muse down and out of this race. A tough break there for Chris Muse this afternoon. Obviously not having the run that he was hoping for this afternoon. And unfortunately, tough breaks out there is Haley Hartman coming in showing the love as Haley says good luck. Casey cheering on Casey Gross out there on the speedway. Casey doing a good job early in this race. He was quickest in qualifying. Unfortunately, early race contact and then having that damage throughout that last run. Going a couple laps down here, he's going to be looking for a few more caution flags and a couple opportunities for him to get the wave arounds or opportunities to get the lucky dog or to put himself back onto the lead lap here this afternoon. But the car does look like it's been fixed up and potentially may still have that quick repair in his back pocket for the 77. So maybe a bit of a blessing in disguise for Casey this afternoon as everyone's going to get stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing as we'll get them all stacked up, ready to go. We'll get ready for a quick little bit of a short run right here. This is going to be a very short run. Lap 44 going to be coming to a close here. We'll go back to green flag racing on lap 45. Now, I do believe we should see the stage break on lap number 50. So, lap number 50, seeing that stage break, we should see caution flag come back out after about 5-6 laps of racing action. That can really mix things up here again. That may open up the door for drivers to take big swings, that it be fuel strategy or potentially trying to earn those lucky dogs or putting themselves back on the lead lap by racing their way to the front of the field. We'll have to wait and see how this one's going to play out and see who will pick up the first stage win of the afternoon. Now, the stage win doesn't really have anything to go with it. Maybe the regular season point standings. If you don't use the playoff point standings, the Winston Cup point standings, you could tell potentially, but you're in this one, those stage points, they don't help you out. They don't work you forward or give you a bonus position at the end of the race. So it's basically, out of the 8 drivers that are a part of our championship here this afternoon, it's whoever can beat the other one. You don't necessarily have to win the race. All you have to do is beat the other 7 drivers that are part of the championship. Now you can finish 4th, 5th, you can finish 15th, and still be in front of those other 7 competitors and be done the race. You'll still be the champion. So it's a bit of a survival of the fittest and just trying to be that champion here of season number 8 of the Outcast Racing League. And I'm not sure if I saw an update of the standings. I'll have to look for that here. Wait and see where we can find the standings of our season. Find it here. Where are our top 8? Are they here? 8. Here we go. What are we looking at here? Nope, this was way before. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know who our championship 8 are. Standings are okay. I'll have to try to find it. Looks like 2 contenders are out. 2 contenders are out. Okay. Outcast helping us out there with that one. So 2 contenders are potentially out of this race. That is very, very interesting. So 2 contenders already out of this race, meaning that we're down to 6 drivers. I'll list them for you. Perfect. Thank you. I was hoping to try to find that. I was hoping to try to find the website quickly, and I was going to try to go through that and try to find it. But yeah, I definitely need that list. I definitely need that list to see our top 8 here. As already 2 of our championship 8 out of this race. That is absolutely insane, as I do believe one of those being Chris Muse. Not sure who the other one is that's technically out of the race here. Is Dom Salvo one of our championship 8 competitors? If Dom is one of our championship competitors, man, that is a tough break for the 19 ride. Not only being here, but I hit my emergency stop button on my rig with my phone by accident. Oh no! Hit your emergency stop button on your rig. On my phone by accident? Oh no. Uh-oh. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that, brother. As out in front, we do see the number 3 rider, Al Reed. Reed is leading the way here, as Outcast Racing League says. So we have the 15-0, the 51, not the race. Oh, it's David Durant Jr. Oh, we're missing a couple drivers there. Okay, yeah. So a couple drivers not in this race. That's what I was kind of thinking, man. We didn't have the 8 ride as well of Lancaster in here either, or Brantlinger. Brantlinger wasn't out here either. So we are down 2 drivers for our championship. That is insane. I didn't even realize that, brother. I figured they were probably close, both David Durant Jr. and Brantlinger, but both drivers not being here. That's heartbreaker right there for them, and now it makes things even more interesting. We saw the 0-0 of Colton Manich early in this race, having to use up his quick repair on that 0-0 line. Already having that already being used up could be dangerous late in this race. But you also look back here at Casey Gross. Casey is currently in the lucky dog position, so he's going to be feeling a little bit better, especially if he can get that free pass and work himself back onto the lead lap here. But he's got Wayne Garland right there to his outside. Wayne could potentially take that lucky drop away from him right now. And, you know, so Casey being a lap down, having those early race issues, definitely not a position that he wants to be in out there on the speedway. The 3 of Al Reed, he's been good as there is that caution flag, and I do believe we may have to go right back to the start-finish line here to really get a look at it, as I'm not sure who may have ended up with this lucky dog right here. I think Wayne may have beat him back to the start-finish line right here. Oh, no. That's going to be too close to call here for me. Honestly, we may have to... That's a tight one. We'll have to wait and see what iRacing says, or who iRacing gives that free pass position to, because, man, that could be detrimental to Casey Gross. I do believe they are putting Wayne Garland in front of Casey, so that is going to put Wayne into that free pass position. Potentially put Casey Gross into a spot where he either needs to come down pit side and try to get the lucky dog with another yellow flag, or hoping to see if he can get the wave around here potentially. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to get it or not, but this is going to be very, very tough for a couple of our competitors trying to get the wave around right here, especially one of them being the 77 got it. The 77 got it. Woo, baby, that is a good break for Casey Gross. That was too close to call right there for Casey, but we did see the first stage coming to a close here this afternoon. So stage number 1 coming to an end here this evening. Now drivers are going to head down pit side with Austin Smith out in front, picking up that stage win with Al Reed, Robert Tuiscu, Adolfo Castillo, Kevin Kazar, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. Mike Killingback, Caleb McKinney, Kurt Sponsler going to stay out here. Sponsler did not come down pit road. That's a very interesting call. Everyone else making their way down pit side, whether or not they're going to get tires, but they're definitely going to want fuel. You do not want to be off strategy here with a lot of drivers. You want to make sure that you can stay on strategy with them, and that way you're not going to be making those single pit stops by yourself out there on the racetrack. But the 49 ride, he's going to stay out now. He's going to be... He was last down pit road on lap number 42. Everyone else down lap 51. So 9 lap difference here on fuel, unless the 49 decides to come back down pit road the next time by the start finish line here. But that will lose a ton of track position here for Kurt Sponsler. So I'm not sure what the theory is there for the number 49 ride, but that's definitely maybe not the right call for him, but it is going to be Robert Tuiscu who's going to come out in second. Caleb McKinney there in third. Al Reed back in fourth with Kevin Kazar, our top 5. Adolfo Castillo up into position number 6 with Johnny Thunders, Darrell Whitford, Tyler Humphrey, Mike Killingback, our top 10 when we go back to Green Flag Racing. Binding the 49 does not come back down pit road. A great run all day long so far here for the 16 ride. Gary Wright having himself a great day out there on the racetrack as Gary sits in position number 11. Ryan Newingham back there in position number 12 with Colton Manich there in the 13th position. Corey Crowell there in 14th with Austin Smith now all the way back in position number 15. A little bit of an extended pit stop there for the 23 as he was down pit road there a little too longer than everybody else, but finds himself now back in the 15th position. Joshua Neal right there behind him in position number 16. Casey Gross able to get that free pass. The lucky dog, he will end up back on the lead lap here as our 17th place driver. No, he'll be our 18th place driver for Casey Gross. Brandon Puffenbarger, he will be there in the 17th position as Casey, the last driver on the lead lap, scored in the 18th position. Wayne Garland a lap down back here in the 19th spot here on the racetrack. James Garland scored in 20th, a couple laps down for the number 13 ride. Chad Lancaster also down pit road. He's a couple laps down for the 02. Cameron Combs multiple laps down there in 22nd, and Chris Muse out there in 23rd. Unfortunately, a lot of laps down and off the racetrack there for Chris Muse here in this one as It's very interesting here. We got a lot of different drivers, a lot of different teams here in this battle this afternoon. So we got a couple of the Elite Sim Racing rides with Cameron Combs and Al Reed, but we got a couple of the Shenco guys, I do believe, with the 15 and the 5? No. 0-0 and 0-0 maybe by himself here in this championship hunt for Williamsburg Contracting rides, as Casey Gross is with Quantum. 51 not here this evening. The 8 ride not here this evening. The 76 ride, I do believe, also with Quantum Motorsports now as well. So a couple Elite Sim Racing rides, a couple of the Quantum Motorsports crew, and one of the Midwest Motorsports rides, and one of the Williamsburg Contracting rides. So the team's kind of all broken up here for the Championship 8, and especially with a bunch of these drivers not being in this race, not having Brantling or not having David Durant Jr. out there on the Speedway, and especially for Brantling or not being able to try to back up his championship from last year. We saw him in this same race pick up that championship, a last lap move to jump out in front and take the win away and pick up that championship 1 year ago. Not out there on the racetrack and not having an opportunity here. He was part of the Championship 8, but not out there on the racetrack. He's put him behind the ball here in this one. Chris Pilo! Chris coming in, show the big love here in this one with the 530-star dono. Absolutely insane. Mr. Big Chris Pilo coming in, showing the big mother fluffin' love here this afternoon. The big D of the day, the big donation of the day, going to Chris Pilo now with the 530-star dono at the Let's Go season final with the best in broadcasting. Sending good luck to Colton and Shenco Customs. Yes, Sirski, great one right there, man. And I know. Colton already running into some bad luck early in this race. I think he really needs that, so I think that's going to really help him out. That's going to give him that big boost of confidence that I know he's been looking for here in this one after getting collected early on in this race in a wreck, and unfortunately having to use up potentially that quick repair early in this race. Let's put him behind the ball here, and you can see that him and the crew have kind of changed up their driving style early in the race. They were, battling up towards the front of the field. They were out in front, leading some laps, and then that caution flag came out. The 0-0 got tied up in it, and that kind of changed the whole ball game of the evening, where we saw a lot of these drivers making some different calls out there on the racetrack to try to make sure that their cars were A-okay. Let's take a look back at that contact and that caution flag that initially kind of messed things up here for a couple of our competitors here this afternoon, and a couple of our Championship 8 as well. As you see the contact here from the 49 and the 6 ride. Kurt Sponsler in the 6 way down there on the bottom left. They're going to make some contact. They're bouncing around. It's going to kind of get everyone else bent out of shape, and then up into the outside fence, you'll see Cameron Combs into the wall there. Casey Gross into the fence. Won't manage right there in the middle of that now. Not sure how much damage the 0-0 ride got right there, but he may have had to use a quick repair up. He may still have that in his back pocket, but definitely knowing that that contact hurt his odds this afternoon and kind of changed his entire ball game here, as he's been just hanging out towards the back of the pack here, not putting himself in a bad position with going outside the draft or anything, but you can see him and the whole crew back here at the tail end of the lead lap, as managed there a little farther behind the 82 of Joshua Neal. Then you see Corey Crowell and Austin Smith, all the Midwest Motorsports lines kind of all right back here as well, and then Colton just back here hanging with him, just trying to keep himself in contention here this afternoon, not trying to use up his equipment and trying to just battle at the back of the pack here, trying to keep that car safe. As in front of the field, leading the way, it is Kurt Sponsler. So Kurt did not come down pit road during that stage break. He was down pit road on lap number 42, but now has About 9 laps less of fuel than those drivers, so that's going to be very interesting where if we see another long green flag run, this 49 ride may be forced to be the only driver at the time to come down pit road if everyone else stays out 3, 4, 5 more laps, 8 more laps longer than the 49 ride. He's going to be forced to have to come down pit road by himself out there on the racetrack with really no dancing partners potentially going with him here and being at the front of the field. He's on the throttle. He's full throttle right now in this 49 ride. It's not like you're deeper in the field and you can kind of roll into the throttle and use the push from behind or be, three-quarter throttle and trying to save a little bit of that fuel being mid-pack. So being out in front, he's burning up even more of that gasoline, and unfortunately, this is not going to help out this 49 rod. The strategy here, I'm not sure what the strategy call is, but maybe just trying to help out his Elite Sim Racing teammates here at the front of the field as he's got them all there in first, second, and third once again on the racetrack. His third sponsor, Robert Tuescu, Al Reed, all right there. Adolfo Castillo now up into position number 4, and Gary White inside the top 5. Gary's been having himself a great day. Started this race deep in the field, quickly made his way up inside the top 10, and he's been right there inside the top 10, inside the top 5, all evening long. Kevin Kazar back there in position number 6. A good run so far for Kazar with Mike Killenbeck, Kill McKinney, Ryan Newingham, and Daryl Whitford rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack with Tyler Humphrey, Johnny Thunders, Casey Gross, Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, our top 15 out here on the Speedway. Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal, Colton Manage, our last driver on the lead lap here in that 00 machine. James Garland, the first car, a lap down out there on the racetrack, currently scored in the 19th position. Wayne Garland also a lap down here in 20th. A couple laps down for the 0-2 ride of Chad Lancaster. Then we see multiple laps down for Cameron Combs, and still no Chris Hughes, no Dom Salvo out there on the racetrack as drivers continue to battle through this afternoon. We're only about 25, maybe about 28% of the way through this race. Still a lot of laps left to go. Still a lot of miles left here in this race. Still like 300 plus miles to go here this afternoon for these amazing drivers as 500 miles, 200 laps here at Daytona International Speedway. And oh man, it's been a heck of a race so far, and these guys continue to put on a great show as we're about an hour into this green flag. An hour in since we saw the green flag fly here, and nearly 60 laps down. That puts us about 3 hours for 180 laps. It puts us about 3.5 hours until we see the end of this race. Finding any more caution flags or an enormous amount of caution flags to make it even longer. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see when this one's going to end, as we got another big race later on this afternoon. So we got lots of racing action here this evening here on PeaceMaker Gaming, and you guys don't want to miss any of it. As Matthew Moore coming in with the like on the stream. How are you, Matthew? Matthew coming in to show the big love. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to jump into a quick PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up. I want you guys to crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite drivers as we'll crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. give it up there for all these amazing drivers. A beautiful crank it up session as we see a little bit of green flag pit stops about to get underway. The Elite Sim Racing rides all head down pit side here together. Obviously, the 49 rider Kurt Sponsler getting very close to running out of fuel here as he was last down pit road on lap number 42 on the racetrack. So about 38 laps there. He needed to make his way down pit side. He needed to get some fuel into that 49 ride. His teammates all coming together with him here down pit road. So a good break there as the Elite Sim Racing crew can try to stay together and roll back out onto the racetrack. And we'll have to wait and see if more drivers decide to try to head down pit road here this afternoon. We did see not too long ago about lap number 70. We also saw the Midwest Sim Sports drivers also head down pit road here as well. So Austin Smith, Brandon Buffenbarger, Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal all came down pit road together as well. So you see these teams really working together. You know, the 3-4 of them coming down pit side at the same time, working on their rides, making sure that they make these pit stops and trying to work together. You'll see the Quantum Motorsports crew, they just came down pit road as well. That's Casey Gross and Adolfo Castillo. They're rolling up into the Elite Sim Racing crew right now. We also saw Colton Manich come down at the same time as well as everybody else, but he's right there at the risk of potentially going a lap down. And seeing with a lot of these other drivers after making those green flag pit stops, Kevin Kazar is our race leader, but Kazar is not too far away from having to come down pit road himself. Last down pit road on lap number 51, which means that they could probably make it about 38 laps on fuel. So that means that bring him to around lap number 89 before we're going to have to see a lot of these other drivers finally make their way down pit side. That includes Kevin Kazar, Mike Killingbeck in the 70 ride, the 76 Caleb McKinney, the number 9 rider Tyler Humphrey, Darrell Whitford, Gary Wright also going to have to make his way down pit side here momentarily, and Bryant Newingham in that number 17 machine. Good to see Bryant out there on the racetrack after missing a lot of races here this year. It's good to see the 17 back out there looking to have some fun here, and hopefully we get him into the next season and see him back out there on a regular basis. As out in front, it's Kevin Kazar who leads the way, and now they're starting to look to the outside here, looking to put Cameron Combs another lap down as he is multiple laps down already after an early race incident. But the 6 ride is trying to keep himself on the lead lap right there. That is Robert Tuiscu. Tuiscu trying to stay on the lead lap, but so isn't Colton Manich. Manich just in front of our race leaders here, just trying to stay there on the lead lap, trying to keep our race leaders back there behind him. And you do see Wayne Garland in the number 84. Wayne's actually looking to try to work his way to the front of the field. Wayne's looking to put himself back onto the lead lap, and so isn't Kurt Sponsler in this 49 ride. This is going to be very, very interesting. Now, Wayne does still need to make a pit stop here before our next stage break on lap number 100. James Garland also having to make another pit stop here, but he's right there in contention to try to put himself back onto the lead lap. Johnny Thunder's a little farther back here. Unfortunately, he's outside that battle there, trying to get his way back on the lead lap. Chad Lancaster, Cameron Combs, Chris Muse, Salvo, all multiple laps down here. Actually, Salvo's yet to join the field here, and Chris Muse already out of this race in the 99 ride. So a heartbreaker there for Chris Muse, but the battle here at the front of the field, it's continuing to rage on, man. A lot of these drivers, they do not want to be left down. They do not want to be put into this position, but that's kind of besides the point, as all these drivers that are going around them, they're going to have to make a pit stop here before the end of this stage, and probably within the next 5 laps or so, we're going to see these guys head down pit side. So they'll be able to get their lap back. Now it's just going to be depends on, you know, where these drivers kind of mesh in together. Right now, it's kind of really broken up, man. These green flag pit stops really take a beating out of people, man, and they can really bust up a good run or a bad run in a quick hurry. But right now, after coming down pit road on lap number 70, these 4 have been right there together. They are actually quite a ways in front of our race leaders here. And they may be sitting in the best position right now. For Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, and Joshua Neal, the Midwest Motorsports crew, they are sitting in the best position possible, I think, right now. They have just been laying down great lap times, working together. They've been glued together, nose to tail, out there on the racetrack. They've actually started to catch some of those drivers that have yet to come down pit road, like Bryant Newingham and Gary Wright. So they're not too far from making some passes and putting themselves in a little closer to our race leaders. But they got about a 25-second gap, but they've been right there with our race leaders here. This has actually been quite impressive, the run that they have had here at the back of the pack. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that one, as Gazar and Killingbeck, McKinney, Humphrey, Whitford, all these drivers that are inside our top 5, top 7 right now, they still have to come back down pit road. Actually, we do see Newingham actually falling outside of the top 7 now. He's been passed by that group, and now we see Gary Wright also getting passed here by that foursome, as the Midwest Motorsports guys are going to cruise control around a couple of those drivers without any drafting help, and they'll move a little farther through the field. And Puffenbarger now into that 6th position, so our top 5 all get to come down pit side here. And there's not a huge gap, 27 seconds. It's going to take probably more than 27 seconds just to go down pit road, not even including a pit stop here for a lot of these drivers. Is, yo, what's good, Lance? Mr. Brantlinger coming in, showing the love. Lance, brother, we miss you out there on the racetrack. We wish you were out there. We wish you were in this race, battling for that championship again this afternoon. But unfortunately for Mr. Brantlinger, not out there on the Speedway, and unfortunately not going to be our champion here this year. That is a heartbreaker to know this early on, knowing the 8 ride isn't going to have an opportunity. The 8 or the 51 of David Duran Jr., both a part of our championship 8, both not in this race. So it's really a championship 6 here this afternoon, and down to 6 drivers to potentially pick up the championship here this evening. And we've seen some of them already run into issues. We see Colton Manish trying to keep himself on the lead lap right now. We saw him get collected in that early race incident. We saw James Garland get collected in some stuff. We saw Robert Tuwiscu a couple of times get some issues. Same with Kurt Sponsler. He's been doing that first rank of the day. Wayne Garland, he's been back and forth here as well. But for some of our other championship contenders, none bigger than Cameron Combs out there on the racetrack, still rolling out there, still trying to help his Elite Sim Racing teammates here in their hunt for, potentially picking up a win this afternoon, or potentially, trying to help the 3 ride of Al Reed picking up the championship. But he's multiple laps down, as we now do see Brian Newingham down pit road here. He's going to go a lap down. He's going to go point a ways down here in this one, as our top 5 still yet to make their final pit stop here. Number 2, as Lance says, wasn't by choice. Believe me. I believe you, brother. I believe you. Why aren't you here? I haven't really gotten word. I haven't had time to really look through the Discord and navigate and see. Was it just a family holiday or something? Or what was the issue, brother? Hopefully it wasn't anything catastrophic like PC issues or, health-wise or anything else, man. We're hoping that everything's A-okay, and hopefully we'll see you back out there for the next season, as we see things really getting broken up here at the front. These drivers needing to make their way down pit side. They're starting to run out of fuel, as here comes Darrell Whitford, Caleb McKinney. Here comes Mike Killingbeck, Tyler Humphrey, and Kevin Kazar, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. But you also see more drivers. That's James Garland, Wayne Garland, Jen Lancaster, all making their way down pit road as well. Lancaster actually misses his pit stall, goes for a quick little loop-de-loop right there. Having to do a quick 360, get that car pointed back in the right direction and into his pit stall. That's a tough break and a big mistake right there for the 0-2 ride, but trying to get that car fixed up, trying to get back out there, as we do see Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal now taking that race lead away, and they're actually going to have a enormous lead advantage between themselves and everybody else. They voted me parked for last week's incident. Oh no, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, brother. That's a tough one, 100%. 100%, definitely a tough one. I didn't know that. That's tough. That's tough. Getting voted out for the Last race of the season, and it being the championship race. Tough one right there, brother. Unfortunate break. But nonetheless, we digress and we keep on rocking and rolling here as we inch closer and closer to our halfway marker here this afternoon, almost halfway through this feature event as Brandon Puffenbarger out in front, leading the way here. Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal, the Midwest Motorsports crew leading the way, showing it that they got the strategy, they got the cars, they got the ability to maybe pick up the checkered flag, and for one of these drivers, potentially pick up that championship, as I do believe it's Puffenbarger who is in the championship 6 now, the championship 8 here this year. So out of these 5, it is the number 5, or out of these 4, the number 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger, our race leader right now, is the driver that is a part of the Midwest Motorsports team looking for the championship here this year. Now, I'm sure Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, and Joshua Neal they're going to try to do their best. They're going to try to do everything they can to try to get this 5 right. That championship here this year, you can see that strategy already working out perfectly for them as they have a huge gap between themselves and our 5th place driver, Casey Gross. Casey back on the lead lap here. He's back in contention, but he is 22 seconds back of the Midwest Motorsports crew. So they're quite a ways behind, and they're actually losing time. They're not gaining time on those 4 drivers out in front. So a good rebound day for Casey Gross, able to battle his way back onto the lead lap and right back into contention here this afternoon for his championship hopes. You'll see the number 3 right of that lead there in 7th. And then we see the double 0, Colton Manage back in the 12th position. Another one of our championship contenders out there on the track. In the 76, Caleb McKinney out there as well in position number 10. Fortunately for the 15 ride, another one of our championship hopefuls here for Cameron Combs does find himself still 8 laps down out there on the racetrack. So a very tough race for Cameron, and trying to get those 8 laps back, still with multiple drivers in front of him being multiple laps down as well. He's in a very, very peculiar position here where it's going to be very, very tough for him to even try to get 1 lap back, let alone 8 laps back out there on the racetrack here. And we inch closer and closer to that halfway marker. Take a look out in front. Brandon Puffenbarger leading this race and leading our championship 8 out here on the racetrack is Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, and the number 82 of Joshua Neal. Our 1, 2, 3, and 4, all teammates here at the front of the field, the Midwest Motorsports crew, leading the way by 24 seconds between themselves and Casey Gross. Gross back there in position number 5 with Adolfo Castillo, Al Reed, Daryl Whitford, Tyler Humphrey, Robert Tuiscu, our top 10 here on the racetrack is stage number 2. Quickly coming to a close here in this one. Lap number 96, I do believe, up and on the board here. So, a whole lot of laps left to go in this one. This one quickly coming to a close as lap 100 just around the corner in the end of stage number 2, our final stage break of the afternoon. Also right here around the corner, and that means we're going to be getting to about a 100-lap shootout. And with how some of this race is went, how some of this stuff is played out, where we've seen drivers end up laps down, we've seen drivers run into issues and have damage on their race cars, we're getting closer and closer to really seeing who our championship drivers may be here this afternoon. And CJ, Mr. Jeffries, how are you, CJ? How are you, brother? Says, just my opinion, but this type of racing for the championship is not the move. I love Outcast and all the peeps there, but this isn't it. I get that this type of racing is an equalizer, but we saw Midwest dominate last season before the late race caution grouped us back together. This race clearly doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm a love-hate relationship with it. I mean, I don't know. It's a long race. Anything can happen. It's one of those big question marks out there where we could have saw early in this race where we saw a few of our other competitors get tied up in it, where we saw Cameron Combs, his night virtually come to a close. Same with Chris Muse and a couple other drivers running into those issues and trying to battle back from it still. And they're on the racetrack. It's definitely very, very tough. It's very up in the air, especially with the restarts, and you just never know if you're going to be collected, or all of a sudden 2 or 3 of your teammates end up with too much damage or down pit side for an extended period of time and fall multiple laps down out there on the racetrack, or may not rejoin the race. Definitely makes things very, very interesting, but I don't know. I think no matter what, everyone's going to have their own opinion. Everyone's going to have their favorite racetrack, right? I'm sure even for the Midwest guys, you know, even though they may run good here, or they're running good right now, they may love this aspect of running Daytona for the championship race, but you know, maybe they're very good at Phoenix, or they're very good at Martinsville. It's always going to be a big thing of discussion. It's always going to be it's unfair because, you know, this team is better here, or that guy's better there, or that, you know, this is good here, or this guy's good there. You know, everyone's good at certain racetracks, everyone's not good at certain racetracks, and I think this was just the consensus that everybody was good here, so it just kind of balances things out, where half-mile racetracks, maybe everyone's not the very best at it. Maybe everyone, maybe 2 of the championship drivers or 4 of the championship drivers would prefer it being at a short track compared to a half-mile, or maybe the 2-mile racetracks that we have on the schedule, or anything else, right? There's always so many question marks that come up, and obviously all the crews always go over it, and the teams and everyone else, they have a voice in the series, and they can voice their displeasures or put it up to vote or anything else. As we see stage number 2 going to come to a close here, with Midwest Motorsports picking up stage win number 2 here this afternoon. So stage number 2 going to come to a close here, as we'll see that caution flag come out just momentarily, as we did see Al Reed run into some issues there late in this one, and I believe that's going to put Al Reed a lap down. Colton Manich almost going to go a lap down here as well, and there's the caution flag. So luckily enough for the 00, he will stay on the lead lap here for Al Reed. He is going to go a lap down, but now in that free pass position. Take a look here as Al Reed went off the racetrack here down the back straightaway after some contact here. Let's take another look at it and see what happened. Luckily enough, well, not luckily enough, no caution flag here. Al leading the way. It says Elite Sim Racing teammates back there on his back bumper, and Robert Tuiscu going to give him a shove, and goes down onto the double yellow line and comes back up and hooks him right there and puts him down into the grass. And that's a tough break right there for Al Reed, as Al goes for a big loop-de-loop down the back straightaway. No caution flag, as rolls back up onto the apron, puts it back into the gear and gets on rolling, but he does fall a lap down here. So tough break for Al Reed, and for the Elite Sim Racing crew, man, they've already had a couple issues where they've ran into each other, and they've had those issues out there. Sometimes different is always better. Isn't always better. Can tell you that seeing Midwest crews out to a 20-plus second lead was kind of a bummer. I mean, that was just that stage, though. That was just that set of pit stops. You know, that's all it takes. That was the first time they led this afternoon, CJ. The first time they had that they were out in front. It was good strategy. They came down pit side before everybody else and stayed hooked together, where the other crews didn't really do that. So maybe they just got to try to redo it. As I can see maybe Atlanta being the key to grouping the pack back up while still having this type of racing. Maybe, but I mean, iRacing Atlanta doesn't really run too much like a, I don't know, I don't feel like it runs as a super speedway as much as actual NASCAR does in Atlanta now. I don't think it's really the same. I feel like the penalties need to be toned down. My incident last week came on lap number 169 or 196. Colton was having issues, and I was fighting to get back on lead lap. I went inside the 49 car and showed stuff. Hey man, that ain't up to me, fellas. I don't make any of the decisions. I just follow the schedule and broadcast the races, man. Unfortunately, and unfortunately for CJ, I mean, CJ's no longer in the series, so his opinion doesn't matter at all. I mean, Lance still part of the series here, and maybe we'll bring CJ back next season. I don't know what his suspension was or anything else, but definitely going to be, you know, obviously that's the admin crew, man. They get together, they have their open mic nights or whatever they call them there, their community nights where they all talk together, everyone can voice their opinions, and everyone can try to work out what works best and everything else. And sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work, sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's not enough. It is what it is. Was going inside and caused me to door him. I protested it to no prevail. So devastating. Yeah, that's definitely a tough break for you, Lance. Definitely a tough break, brother. But yeah, that's a tough one. Definitely a tough one. I'm just letting everyone know what happened. Yeah. I mean, if they were watching last week, which they should have been watching last week, they would have saw it. They would have saw it, that's for certain. And if they didn't see it, they can go back and check it out there on the YouTube stream and see what happened there with that caution flag and the penalty issues with Lance and everything else. But nonetheless, we digress and we keep on racing here at beautiful Daytona International Speedway. As out in front, it is Tyler Humphrey. Now, Humphrey and Kurt Sponsler again playing some different pitch strategies here. I don't know what the call is here with the pitch strategies. Austin Buell being a major impact here for a lot of these drivers. Seeing Tyler last down pit road on lap number 90, and for Tyler Humphrey last down pit road on lap number 79. He's going to have to make another pit stop here in this final stage rather quickly. So I don't know what the call is here. Staying out, not getting the fuel, not getting topped up, and this is a 100-lap race to finish off this race as Gil McKinney is going to line up in position number 3. Now he does have a full tank of fuel here. Back on lap 102, coming down pit side, you'll see Casey Groves right there in position number 4. Adolfo Castillo back there in 5th with Mike Killingbeck, Daryl Whitford, Robert Tuisku, Al Reed, and Colton Manich are top 10 here on the Speedway. Austin Smith back in 11th with Joshua Neal going to come out in position number 12. Corey Crowell there in 13th with Brandon Puffenbarger back in 14th. Then we see James Garland. He's getting a lap back here. He will roll out on lap number 15 here for the number 13 ride. Kevin Kazar, he's going to be, I believe, the first car a lap down here on the racetrack for Kevin Kazar. Kevin Kazar last down pit road on lap number 101, but he's back in the 16th position. Same with Wayne Garland. Brian Newingham back here in 18th. Gary Wright there in 19th. Johnny Thunders back in 20th with Chan Lancaster, Cameron Combs, Chris Muse, and Dom Salvo rounding out our top 24 here this afternoon. Well, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a little bit wild. Is it still 50% fuel for this race? No, it's 100% fuel. 100% fuel. 100% fuel, 100% distance there. So usually about, I would say, I'm going to say lap, 38 laps, 40 laps, something like that. Somewhere around there per tank is kind of what we see, 38, 40 laps. Maybe even sometimes 36 if you're leading the race, as if you're out in front, you're using up quite a bit more fuel than a little farther in the pack there. With Tyler Humphrey sees that green flag fly and quickly onto the loud pedal. Caleb McKinney on his back bumper with Mike Killingbeck right there into 3rd. Casey Gross will jump down low. He'll slide into 4th with Kurt Sponsler there in position number 5. Daryl Whitford back there in the 6th position with Adolfo Castillo. Robert Tuisku, Al Reed back in 9th with Colton Manich there in 10th. Austin Smith in position number 11 with Joshua Neal, Corey Crowell, and Brandon Puffenbarger right there working together again. Deeper in this field with James Garland, Kevin Kazar, our top 16 here on the Speedway. As we did see a couple of those drivers sit out there on the racetrack when we saw the number 9 of Humphrey and the 49 of Kurt Sponsler not come down pit road right there. But that really did, as it hurt quite a few of these other drivers, where we saw James Garland at the wave around back onto the lead lap. We also saw couple other drivers kind of get trapped a lap down. Kevin Kazar trapped a lap down. Wayne Garland getting a trapped a lap down there as well. Brian Newingham, Gary Wright, Johnny Thunders all getting trapped a lap down out there on the racetrack. So that really broke things up right there, and maybe that was the strategy call, keeping more drivers back behind a lap on the racetrack than coming down pit side and getting fuel and using that strategy for themselves. So for Tyler Humphrey, for the number 49, Kurt Sponsler, definitely different calls, different strategies right there, different ideas on what they need to do to try to put themselves into a winning position through this afternoon. As Killingbeck leading the way. Mike Killingbeck out in front. Casey Gross there in position number 2. He's got one of his Quantum Motorsports teammates a little bit farther back there in that 5th position. You do see Adolfo Castillo. Robert Tuiscu, he's trying to jump up here. He's trying to help out his teammate as the 49 rider, Kurt Sponsler, sits in position number 3. Here on the Speedway, Al Reed a little farther back, one of our championship contenders. He's kind of leading the second bit of a pack as things are kind of broken up a little bit here towards the front of the field as you see Lancaster having to make that pit stop. Now going back onto the racetrack here, unfortunately, for the N Sea NSB, the Quantum Motorsport 02 ride. Running the here in this one, and definitely not the luck he was hoping for this afternoon, as Cameron Combs still out there as well. He's trying to help out his Elite Sama Racing teammates here, trying to help out the 60 ride, get up here so he can try to join the 3 machine of Al Reed and see if they can try to get this second group kind of rolling a little closer to the front of the field. That's about a second of a gap now between the 3 machine of Al Reed and the number 76 of Caleb McKinney. Actually about a second and a half now has grown between those 2 drivers, so quite a bit of a gap back here between Al Reed and Caleb McKinney. Is out in front. Mike Killingbeck continuing to lead the way. Casey Gross right there in second. Darrell Whitford having himself a great day here at the Speedway as the Lug Nuts Racing ride sits there in position number 3 here on the Speedway. Kurt Sponsler, Adolfo Castillo, our top 5 here on the racetrack as he's going to work himself underneath of the 49 rider, Kurt Sponsler, as Kurt jumps up to the outside lane, trying to pick up his teammate in that 6 rider, Robert Tuiscu, trying to jump up here and help that 49 back to the front of the field. As Tyler Humphrey, Caleb McKinney rounding out our top 8 here in the main pack, and then you see that second pack. They're trying to catch up to them. They're trying to close the gap here and join the fun at the front of the field. As in the back of the second pack, you do see the Midwest Motorsports group as there you go. There's the 23 of Austin Smith, the 82 of Joshua Hill, Corey Crowell, and Brandon Puffenbarger all right there in that battle as Colton Manich has disappeared off the racetrack. He still scored in the 15th position, but where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where's Colton Manich? I don't know if Colton may have just ran out. The 00 disappeared. Yeah, the 00 has disappeared off the racetrack here. I don't know where he has gone to, but he has went 0 dark 30 out there on the racetrack, and I don't know. We may have to just quickly... Yeah, I don't see any connection drops or anything there. The 00 ride. This is very wild. The Manich, one of our championship contenders, has disappeared in this race, and now showing that he's fallen multiple, or at least a lap down here on the racetrack for the 00 ride. And he still hasn't shown back up anytime soon yet, so this is not good for the 00 ride. Another one of our championship contenders running into issues here midway through this race, and Colton Manich, this could be very devastating for that 00 ride. Potentially connection issues, potentially PC issues, or who knows what may have happened to that 00 machine of Colton Manich out there on the Speedway. We'll have to keep an eye out, see if he can rejoin the field, but as he sits dormant somewhere out there, just disappeared off the Speedway, he's fallen farther and farther behind and multiple laps down, and he may end up in close to the same position as where we saw the 15 ride of Cameron Combs, where Combs is still back in the 22nd position. He's 8 laps down here and basically in a position where he's never going to gain those laps back. And 15 rider Cameron Combs early in this race probably knew that his opportunity to try to pick up this championship and wink out the window with an extended pit stop, trying to get that 15 car repaired here in this race. So now on the back bumper of his teammate Al Reed, and now trying to push Al to the front of the field, hoping to try to help his teammate pick up the checkered flag in the championship here this year. But right now, out in front, it's Mike Killingbeck who leads the way. Casey Gross in position number 2 is currently our highest driving championship 8 contender right now. And he's in position. If this race were to end right now, if we were to see rain fall on the racetrack and the officials call this race, the 77 ride of Casey Gross would be crowned as our Season 8 champion here on the season. So that's very, very interesting. And Casey, who ran into issues early in this race, had those problems, ran into those issues. Definitely very interesting. Reconnecting, he is back. So the 00 is back. I think. I haven't seen him out there. He's still not out on the racetrack. He's reconnecting, though. He's trying to get back in there, but unfortunately, he's falling farther and farther behind here. More and more laps down on the racetrack. And here we go. Here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shenco Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting Racing 00 ride of Colton Manich back out there on the Speedway. A heartbreaker here for the 00 as he rolls back out onto the racetrack here. Take a look up at the scoreboard in the 00. I do believe at least 3 laps down out there on the racetrack. At least 3 laps down, potentially going to go more laps down here. We'll have to keep an eye out, but we do see the caution flag. So this is a good break here for Colton Manich. The caution flag does come out. Maybe he can use that to his advantage, get a wave around, get back another lap here, but he is at least 3 laps down. As we're going to take a look back, we see the number 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck run into issues. Killingbeck was leading this race, but Casey Gross makes the move, goes around him here. He's actually inside. Killingbeck goes up to the outside lane now, trying to find a hole in behind the 49. Kind of gets shoved into the middle. Can't go high, can't go low, but does... Oh, he makes a little contact. Adolfo Castillo, nowhere to go. Robert Tuwiscu tied up in that one. As Killingbeck goes around, heavy damage there for the 70 ride. Heavy damage for the 31 of Adolfo Castillo as he ends up hard into the wall here. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. From Adolfo's perspective, let's see if we can get another look at it here. So watch the PeaceMaker Gaming Quantum number 31 ride. Down low, there's the contact as the 70 comes down the racetrack. Just tags that back end of the 31, gets him bent out of shape. He's trying to save it, unfortunately cannot. Gets up into the outside fence. Killingbeck going to go with him here. Then Killingbeck bounces back out onto the racetrack, hard into the number 6 of Robert Tuwiscu. Kevin Kazar nowhere to go here as well. Kazar, a big hit here for the number 28 machinist. Oh, heavy hit there for the 6. Heavy contact for the 13 as well. There's some damage there for the 84 of Wayne Garland. There's nowhere for these guys to go. And unfortunately for Killingbeck, kind of getting shoved into the middle here. It's kind of got him bent out of shape. He comes down the racetrack and makes that contact with the 31. And unfortunately for the 31 machine of Adolfo, that's really where things get started. And he really has nowhere to go. You see the 70 wide trying to get down low, and right there makes that contact, and that's what gets the 31 bent out of shape. All this contact and the loop-de-loops here for the 70 ride is a bunch of good drivers, battling here at the front of the field, just getting tore up out there on the racetrack. His drivers are going to make their way down pit side, so taking a little bit more of this fuel mileage gain out of the picture here. Let's take another look at it. We can get another look here at that damage in the contact here between the 70 and the 31 ride here. Here's the contact. 31 getting loose, trying to save it. More contact there for the 28, the 16. Looks like Newingham and the 17 ride also getting some damage there as well. A lot of drivers getting tore up, a lot of drivers running into issues, as you do see the 00 and the 15 ride not going to come down pit side here. They're both looking for the wave arounds, hoping to get the lap back here, at least a lap back out there on the racetrack. As out in front, leading the way, it's Casey Gross. Casey Gross going to stay as our race leader. Caleb McKinney there in second. Al Reed now in third with Tyler Humphrey, Darrell Whitford, Kurt Sponsler, Joshua Neal, Corey Crowell, Austin Smith, Braden Puffenbarger rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. As you see a couple drivers hoping to try to get some wave arounds or looking to try to get some lucky dunks here, something out there on the racetrack. As you do see the 00 of Colton Manich, he's in that wave around position, trying to get at least one of his laps back here in this one. Same with Cameron Combs. I'm not sure if it's going to help them or hurt them, or how this may play out for both of those drivers, but they're both looking to try to make their way around these drivers and trying to get a lap back here. So interesting strategies, interesting calls, but we do see a lot of drivers coming back down pit road on lap number 115, lap 116 out there on the Speedway. So different pit strategies here once again. Drivers getting some more fuel, trying to edge their way closer to the checkered flag this afternoon. Now, do we see these drivers trying to slow the pace down, maybe try to use a little less fuel, especially during some of these caution breaks, see if they can make it green here to the end, and maybe see if they can make it on a one stop here to the end? Do you think they can make that? You know, that's 84 laps. One pit strategy call there right in the middle around lap 42. Can they make it 42 laps and 42 laps with sticking fuel? Not going a lap down or giving up too much time on the racetrack? I don't know. It's going to be very, very tough. It's going to be very, very interesting to see and figure out who's going to be in the right spot, the right time to make the right calls and put themselves into what could be a winning position to not only win this race, but also could be a winning strategy to win the championship here this year. As laps are getting counted down in a quick hurry, we get ready to rock and roll here once again. We'll see green flag come back out this next time by, as we'll get a quick word in here as our Outcast Racing promo video. Alrighty, we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here from Daytona International Speedway. The green flag quickly coming back out as the 76 of Caleb McKinney getting a great launch on the outside lane here. Inside lane really not going too far. We do see some issues a little deeper in the field here. Not sure who may have gotten tied up right there, as we saw some smoke deeper in the pack here. Who ran into a problem deeper back here, man? I don't know if it was the 17 of Newingham, potentially. Yeah, it looks like Newingham. Something underneath that car just goes amiss. I don't know if he slammed onto the brakes, but you do see the 00. Colton Manich just able to get around him right there. The 82 of Neal trying to work his way through there. Same with the 15 of Cameron Combs, as I'm not sure if the 17 rod maybe blew up. Not sure if that car just blew a motor or what, maybe downshifted or upshifted or something here. Let's jump on board with this number 17 ride, see what happens here as Ian's down the front straightaway trying to get up through the gears. And oh yeah, the bottom end of that motor just fall out of it right there, but you can hear that car losing power. Not sure if he was rolling out of the throttle himself. He was on the throttle, but all of a sudden it just drastically started to lose RPMs, and then that motor ended up expiring right there. And fortunately down onto the apron, car still without power, still just rolling to a close. And Fortunately, taking that car off the racetrack and now down pit side, getting some extensive repairs done to that number 17 ride. So a tough break there for Bryant Newingham, potentially another driver in this race. Going to be eliminated here this afternoon with heavy damage as that car is down pit road and sitting on pit side as we see Casey Gross back out in front. Casey back out to leading the way here in this one. Casey out in front with Caleb McKinney and Al Reed right there with them. Three of our championship contenders inside the top four on the racetrack. So three of those championship drivers trying to figure out a way to pick up the win in the championship here this afternoon. Another one of our championship contenders, Brandon Puffenbarger, finds himself all the way back here in position number 10. Now, him and his teammates a little bit broken up right now, and they're losing quite a bit of time, but they're looking to try to pick up this second pack, trying to gain a little bit of ground here on that lead pack here, hoping to at least kind of get a little tighter and make up some ground if this race goes green flag. Even though we've seen them work well together, they're still missing out on their other teammates. Here comes Joshua Neal trying to rejoin those four up there at the front of this little bit of a pack, deeper in the pack here as 15 of Cameron Combs right there. The 60 ride of Johnny Thunders back there. The 02 of Chad Lancaster also back there as well. Well, that's a tough break for our race leader, Casey Gross. It's his Quantum Motorsports teammates all the way back here in the, the 12th position, and farther back is Johnny Thunders on the lead lap, scored in that 12th spot, but you do see Adolfo Castillo now, I do believe, a lap down, scored in 17th. The 02 ride of Chad Lancaster, multiple laps down, scored back in the 21st position, or not Lancaster, sorry, that's Lancaster in that 02 ride. So three of his Quantum Motorsports teammates running into issues in this race, and including himself having issues early on, but rebounding nicely, but now having to try to find some different dancing partners here at the front of the field for that 77 ride. Casey Gross has to find different drivers to work with here at the front of the pack because he's got no Quantum Motorsports teammates anywhere around him here. Right now, though, looks like he's trying to get some help from Al Reed, as Al Reed, he's got his teammates a little farther back there, hoping to see if they can jump up and help him out here, potentially in this race, as the Poor Boy Motorsports 84, Wayne Garland, sitting there in third. Wayne is actually a lap or so down, as we do see more contact here. A couple drivers getting into it. That was a couple big hits down out of corner number 2. You do see the caution flag fly, and it was Kurt Sponsler in the 49 ride, one of the Elite Sim Racing rides, getting tied up in this one. Let's take a look here. Watch the 21 ride, the Lug Nuts Racing Machine of Darrell Whitford. The apron here kind of gets up and into the 49 as the 49 gets into him. See if we can get another look at this one. See if we can get another tighter look at it here. As they were right there together. They were close coming back up onto the racetrack, where I don't know if the 21 ends up making contact there with the 49 ride, but right there they seem fine. But then, yeah, it just looks like it gets hooked in. The 21 washes up the racetrack. Hard contact there into Robert Tuiscu. Tuiscu up and into the outside fence, and fortunately that heavy damage, but the 49 still bent out of shape. Him and Kazar make contact, then he bounces off the 21, back up into the 16 of Gary Wright. You see Caleb McKinney and the 9 of Humphrey trying to work their way through that, trying to keep themselves out of trouble here, as 16 hard up into the outside fence. Good damage again for the 49 rider Kurt Sponsler, as he's on the binders here, washing down the racetrack, and nowhere to go for Johnny Thunders, as Thunder slams right into the back end of that NOS Energy Elite Sim Racing number 49 ride of Kurt Sponsler. That was a heavy hit right there for Johnny Thunders, man. Nowhere for him to go. Slams into the back end of that 49 ride. He was quite a ways back here, and you start to see the mayhem unfolding. Trying to get checked up, trying to work his way through it, and then all of a sudden the 49 virtually stopped in the middle of the racetrack, washes right down in front of him. Not enough time for the 60 to get out of the way, and that's a big hit right there, and that may be all she wrote for Johnny Thunders here this afternoon, as he'll have to take that car down pit side for extended repairs. Same with the 21 of Whitford, same with the 49, and quite a few other drivers that ended up with contact there in that one. But we do see Caleb McKinney is going to stay out here. McKinney not coming down pit road. Same with Tyler Humphrey and James Garland staying out here as well. James back onto the lead lap. He's going to stay out on the racetrack as 28 of Kevin Kazar looking for the free pass here. He's looking to get free pass in this one. You do see the 17 back out onto the racetrack as well. Good to see Bryant back out there, but multiple laps down now for the 17 machine. But see Adolfo Castillo down pit side trying to get his car repaired quite a bit here on the racetrack. Is trying to get it down into his pit stall and rocking and rolling again here as Gary Wright rolls back out there. Kurt Sponsler down pit side. Johnny Thunders down pit side. Lancaster, Cameron Combs all down pit road here, as well as more drivers, more strategies, more ups and downs here on the afternoon as you see some of those Midwest Motorsports rides still just playing the right strategy. They've been hanging out a little deeper in the field. They've been able to keep themselves out of trouble. They still got their quick repairs in the back pocket. They still got their go-to racing lines in full group kind of right there together as Joshua Neal could light up in the 6th position. Corey Crowell there in 7th. You see Austin Smith back in 9th in the 5 rider. Brandon Puffenbarger rounding out our top 10 is Puffenbarger, one of those championship 8 drivers battling here this afternoon. Wait and see what he can do and see if he can try to work his way up towards the front of the field late in this race. See if they can use some of that strategy like we saw at the end of stage number 2 there. Their advantage and maybe put one of these Midwest Motorsports rides into victory lane and maybe picking up the championship here this year, as well as they're actually going to make a additional pit stop here. They're going to come back down pit road and they're going to give up a little bit more track position, but they're going to get more fuel again into their race cars as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Lights are off the official iRacing pace car, and here you go. Kevin Kazar getting that wave around back onto the lead lap. Good break there for him. Good break for Wayne Garland as he'll rejoin the rear of the field here back onto the lead lap with that lucky dog in the free pass. So that's going to move, I do believe, Adolfo Castillo. I do believe is going to be potentially the one driver a lap down still on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out and scoring kind of gets figured out here as everyone gets back onto the racetrack and everything else. But we do see Cameron Combs now only down 7 laps here on the Speedway. So Cameron still trying to battle, still trying to do everything he can to keep his playoff dreams alive and his championship dreams alive here, as well as Caleb McKinney out in front. McKinney leads our championship 8 here this afternoon, looking for that championship, looking to try to punch his ticket into the winner's circle here as well this afternoon, as we'll get him stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to battle here in this one. As out in front, Tyler Humphrey, Caleb McKinney, AC Gross back there in 4th with James Garland there in 3rd. Casey is the 2nd highest running championship 8 driver. Al Reed back there in 5th, 3rd right now in the championship hunt. And then we see the number 5 rider Puffenbarger scored back in the 12th position. He's currently the 4th highest championship competitor out there on the racetrack. And then we see the 00 of Colton Manich scored back in the 20th position, a couple laps down still for that 00 ride. He scored back in the 20th spot. He is currently the 5th highest driver in our championship 8, and our 6th highest championship competitor is the 15 rider Cameron Combs, who is 7 laps down. As we go back to green flag racing, Caleb McKinney on the loud pedal here quickly slides down in front of the number 9 ride. That is Tyler Humphrey. As you see the 76 ride, Caleb McKinney, normally we see him in the Overtons 76 ride out there on the racetrack, but now being a part of the Quantum Motorsports team, he's got that Q on the hood of that number 76 ride rolling here at the front of the field. So Casey Gross does have at least one potential teammate here up at the front of the field, but he's looking to try to get a couple more up here to help him out, as Adolfo Castillo able to use that quick repair on the 31 ride. That car is back into shape. Unfortunately, does find himself still at least a lap down out there on the Speedway, but sitting up here trying to help out a couple of his Quantum Motorsports teammates maybe late in this race, be up here and can get that lucky dog, maybe put himself into a position to get a lap back and right back into the thick of things here this afternoon. Your night's not over until it's over, and same goes with Gary Wright. Gary's been having a miraculous day here. You see that speed out of the 16 machine down low. Quickly moves around the 31 and the 77. Draws in right to the back bumper of that 70 ride of Mr. Killingback. Is the caution flag going to come back out? Colton Manich going to run into more issues here deeper in the field, and the caution flag back out on the speedway. Colton Manich in the 21 of Daryl Whitford going to come together here down the back straightaway. Let's take a look at it here as, oh man, looks like the 00 trying to find a hole, trying to find a lane right here. Potentially he's trying to split the middle between the 21 and the 17 and just doesn't time it right, or just, fortunately, yeah, just does not get the run he was hoping for there. Maybe surprising a couple of these drivers as 21 and the 00 door-to-door, and the 21 probably still not even realizing that he was down to the inside, moves down just ever so slightly. Is not sure if he moved down or if the 00 kind of moved up and thought maybe he was clear. You can look at this one as you may have thought maybe he was clear right there. Let's take a look here. So he sees the gap, goes for it here, and it looks like potentially Colton moves up here. Maybe thought he was clear of the 21, or yeah, it just kind of comes up ever so slightly, and it just gets over that left front tire of the 21 ride and just hooks that 00 up into the outside fence, and that's what'll bring out our caution flag here as they come together hard up into the outside fence. Pretty good front end damage for both of those drivers. Heavy right side damage as well for the 21 as slammed into that outside fence there, and fortunately that will bring our caution flag back out here again this afternoon. As out in front, Caleb McKinney going to continue to lead the way as we do see some more drivers. Some of this pit strategy here as Casey Gross down pit road. Here comes Joshua Neal and Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger. Whitford also down pit road here, looking to get that car repaired as Scotty Thunders down pit road. Colton Manich still down pit road, getting repairs done to that 00 ride. Cameron Combs coming back down pit side. Chad Lancaster down pit road here. Gonna get some repairs done to the 02 ride by Caleb McKinney, Tyler Humphrey, James Garland, Al Reed, all coming. They're all staying out there on the racetrack, and I do believe it was Gary Wright who's going to get that free pass. The lucky dog going to the 16 ride, so Gary Wright getting the lucky dog back onto the lead lap here for the 16 machine. Good break there for him. Tough break for the 31 ride of Adolfo Castillo, as that will keep him, unfortunately, a lap down here on the speedway. We'll get everyone stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. The 76 is not on Quantum. His scheme is messed up. Okay, that makes sense. I just thought he was. I don't know why his scheme is messed up here. That's it's interesting here for Caleb McKinney, why his paint scheme's messed up. I don't know why that would happen, but nonetheless, he's in that Q car. We'll just call it the Q car from now on, not the Quantum Motorsports car, as I thought he was maybe helping them out, maybe associated with them now with the Q on the front of that hood, but I suppose not. So that's very interesting. I didn't. I'm glad we have Outcast Racing League up in the comment section, giving us the pointers, helping us out here, making sure that we got all these facts straight here in this one. 76 is on Misfits with the 9 and the 13. Right. So, pair of Misfits drivers at the front of the field. Okay, so that makes things very, very interesting. Having Humphrey right there. Humphrey, one of those Misfit drivers, and looking pretty good out there on the speedway. We've seen some good speed, too, at a James Garland as James sits in position number 3. So it's all Misfits Racing here at the front of the field here. Later in this race is about 68 laps left in this one, man. We're getting down to a regular race here this afternoon, and Misfits crew showing up. James Garland, Caleb McKinney, Tyler Humphrey, all up there at the front of the field here. As Caleb McKinney, one of our championship contenders, sits there in the top spot. Al Reed back there in fourth, another one of our championship drivers. And then we see Casey Gross back there in position number 8 on the Speedway. He's another one of those championship drivers here this afternoon. And we see Brandon Puffenbarger back in the 14th position. Now these guys came down pit road once again, trying to make sure they get every little bit of fuel they can here into their race cars. We've seen that time and time again for Puffenbarger, for Corey Crowell, and Austin Smith and Joshua Neal. So definitely some strategy being played out of those drivers, making sure that every opportunity they get, even giving up that track position, making sure they get the fuel into their race cars, and every single lap may count out there on the Speedway. And they're making sure that their cars are absolutely filled here this afternoon. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing, as Chris Muse says. Could try to do a paint refresh. I could try to, but it may just mess with everyone else's paint schemes, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. We can deal with the one car being messed up out there. We can deal with the one car being messed up out there. And if it's messed up enough to have his nameplate in the back and in the front and everything else, like, I don't know if it's just his trading paints is messed up and potentially just had the wrong car on there for some reason. I'm not sure, but we don't want to mess with everyone else's paint schemes and have that issue. So we'll deal with the one driver, unfortunately, for Dylan McKinney. If he wins, we'll do it for certain. We know he's part of that championship 8, so we'll try to make sure that we can get a fix up for him. Ends up on the podium as we are back to green flag racing, and Caleb McKinney out in front. Caleb leading the way here with Tyler Humphrey and James Garland right there with them. The Misfits all doing a great job there on the restart to make sure that they stay locked together here, 1, 2, and 3 on the Speedway, and working together perfectly there on the racetrack. Is Al Reed back there in position number 4. Wayne Garland sitting there in position number 5. A good run so far for Wayne Garland. A good rebound throughout the day, being able to battle back. Whitford, who we just saw get tied up in that last caution flag, the 21, up into the 6th position here with Robert Tuiscu back in position number 7 on the racetrack, as they see Kevin Kazar, Casey Gross, Gary Wright rounding out our top 10, Joshua Neal, Austin Smith, Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger there rounding out our top 14. Adolfo Castillo back in the 15th position with Mike Killingbeck, Johnny Thunders, Kurt Sponsler, Brian Newingham, Colton Manich, Cameron Combs, Chad Lancaster, Chris Muse bringing up the rear of our field back in the 23rd position. Muse, how are you, Chris? How are you, brother? Coming in, showing the love here in this one. Holly Garland coming in as well with the like on the stream. How are you, Holly, coming in, showing the love here in this one as we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag here this afternoon. That 75% slowly but surely starting to show itself out there on the racetrack, as still a lot of laps left to go here in this race. Still a ways away to go here this afternoon as we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag here in this one. As Chris said, so I had a phone call during the race. I won't say who it was, but she knew I was starting the race early. Laugh out loud. So after that, I placed my phone on something. It fell off and hit my emergency stop button on my rig. There's no way, brother. That is the worst thing I think I've heard. Actually, I've heard of people dropping drinks onto their PCs and stuff, but like an emergency stop button, like your power button, like normally on most PCs, like the power button is only like this big, right? Like it's not very big, like less than an inch by an inch, you know, it's like half an inch by half an inch, if that, for a power button. An emergency stop button. Yep, laugh out loud. That's why my engine was revving like mad. Laugh out loud. That is wild, man. That is wild. That's crazy. That's crazy. Brother, I don't know what your rig's set up like, but you may have to move that so that way you never have that issue again. And for me to drop my phone on my emergency button, it's way over here, brother. It's a ways away. I gotta reach full arm length and use or better to drop my phone onto the power button. That's crazy. That is crazy. As Robert Tuisku out in front, leading the way here in this one. The sun's starting to go down here at the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. Barely a cloud in the sky, but the sun, it is shining and it's starting to go down. The lights may have to come on here at Daytona. We'll have to wait and see how long this one will take as Tuisku leads the way with Kevin Kazar now into second. Al Reed there in third. You'll see the 70 line of Mike Hillenback up there in this fight. Hillenback does find himself multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, a couple laps down to the 70 line, but looking to see if he can race his way to the front of the field and maybe race a lap back in front here to see if he can help himself out. As I sent you a photo for later, laugh out loud. Oh gosh, thank you for that one. I'm gonna need it. As my power button is behind my triples, I can't possibly hit it. Yeah. See, like that's crazy, man. That's like what's a Star Wars reference there? Was it Luke who blew up the Death Star inside the tunnel or whatever? Like, or they have that one little spot in the entire Death Star that if they hit it, it blows up the entire Death Star. You know, that's it. That's kind of what I'm thinking of for Chris Muse and what happened earlier when his cell phone went rogue and decided to take out his entire system here, his entire day. That's brutal, brother. That is brutal. Zep in front, Robert Tuisku leading the way here in this one. Al Reed right there behind him, leading our championship competitors. But on his back bumper, you do see Casey Gross. Now, Gross has been right tight with that 3 ride pretty much all day long here. They've been working pretty good together. So, you know, with Casey's teammates running into issues throughout the afternoon, the motorsports car not having a whole lot of dancing partners, maybe deciding to try to help the Elite Sim Racing guys, maybe trying to team up with them a little bit to help each other out here late in this race. As Garland back there in 4th and Darrell Whitford now in that 5th position. We see Kevin Kazar back in 6th and Caleb McKinney and his Overton's 76 fly sliding back into position number 7. Now he's the 3rd highest championship contender here this afternoon. Score back there in that 7th position. And then we see a little farther back, Brandon Puffenbarger. You see these 4, once again, the Midwest Motorsports crew working together, and they are kind of, again, without that lead pack, but just kind of doing their own thing, their own strategy here. We saw it pay off for them perfectly in stage number 2. Will it work out here at the end of this race and put these 4 out in front like we did before? We saw them at the end of stage number 2, the 4 of them right tight together like they are right now with a 20-plus second lead between themselves and the rest of the field. Do they have that same strategy? Does it work out to their advantage here again in this one? As we did see Adolfo Castillo, who is the one and only driver, a lap down right now on the Speedway. It may actually be 2 laps down now for the 31 ride as Adolfo went off the racetrack here. I'm not sure what happened to the 31 ride, but it looks like he may have gotten shunted down the speedway, trying to clear the 76 of McKinney right there, and goes down below the WL line into the grass, and you see that car just hopping, slipping, sliding around. He's trying to get it checked up and not to want to slide back out onto the racetrack there and take anybody else out of this race, as now he's going to climb that hill and try to get this car rolling once again. Still sideways though. The car does not want to turn. There you go. Finally gets it going and gets rolling here once again. Unfortunately, way back deeper in the field now, and still in the free pass position. I do believe he is still the first driver at least a lap down. So finding a caution flag here, he could get himself back onto the lead lap and rejoin the fun here at the front of the field. That's in front to Tuisku, Al Reed, Casey Gross, 1, 2, and 3. You do see that second pack starting to catch up to them here as, here we go, Wayne Garland, Darrell Whitford there inside the top 5. Kevin Kazar there as well, as you do see the 49 rider, Kurt Sponsler. Kurt, you believe, is a lap or multiple laps down now in this 49 ride. And he's working his way up towards the front. Him and his Elite Sim Racing teammate, the number 15 Cameron Combs, both working their way up here, as we do see Lancaster still down pit side here in that 0-2 ride, and Colton Manich back down pit road again here as well. So Colton Manich making a unscheduled green flag pit stop here for the 0-0 ride, and his championship opportunity, his championship hopes may be slowly but surely pulling out and away from him here, as well as our race leaders are going to go by him here, I do believe, in just a couple seconds, and that will put him another lap down. Oh man, that's a tough break again for the 00 ride after such a high of picking up the win last week in Bristol. The 00 Colton Manich, no luck here this afternoon as that car still down pit side, still getting that car worked on. Fortunately, not back out there onto the speedway as of yet, and scored multiple laps down back in the 20th position. His opportunity to pick up that championship here today may be out here in this one. Colton lost connection again. Last caution. Oh, did he? He lost connection again. Oh no, as we see the caution flag come out, a couple drivers losing their connection with the racetrack as we see a couple drivers getting turned around here. You see the 49 ride, Mike Killing back in there as well. 84 of Wayne Garland. Let's see if we can get another look at it here as these drivers look like they're going to get together down the back straightaway. Looks like the 49 just going to force the issue here. Sponsler going to try to get around the 70 machine. Shoots for the middle here underneath the 70 ride of Killingback. I don't think Killingback realizes it. I don't think 84 realized that they were 3 wide, and then just make contact. Goes down across the nose of the 49 ride, but you see the 70 of Killingback made contact there with Gary Wright. Wright goes up the racetrack. Good piece of driving there by the 15 ride of Cameron Gomes to avoid it, but the 28 ride of... Oh no, Caleb McKinney does get tied up in it. McKinney does go around. He slams hard up into the outside fence. Same with Tyler Humphrey. A couple more of these misfit drivers also getting collected there in that one as things went from bad to worse down there through corner number 3 as just watch the 84 in the 49 as they make the contact. They go down the racetrack and we see the 16 run into his issues. These two coming back up through the grass, back onto the racetrack. That's where the big hits come from, and the heavy hits there for Killingback again. Heavy hit for Kurt Sponsler and for Wayne Garland as they launch back up the racetrack. Nowhere to go for Tyler Humphrey. Nowhere to go for Caleb McKinney. And a bunch of tore up race cars again here on the racetrack. Let's see if we can jump on board here with one of these drivers. Let's see if we can jump on board with one of our championship competitors here with Caleb McKinney's. McKinney just trying to work his way through this one. Sees it happening, makes the right moves, and gets clear of the first couple issues here, and then unfortunately does not miss the second one. Misses all that, misses that, and bam. Just gets clipped, turned around hard up into the outside fence. Heavy damage for him, and man, that's a tough break right there for another one of our championship competitors here this afternoon, running into issues as more drivers making pit stops here. Lap 145 coming down pit side and getting some extra pit stops in, getting their car some fuel, maybe some tires, and going to try to make this race a close one right down to the very end as see Casey Gross going to be the first driver out of pit lane here. Al Reed there in second. Robert Tuiscu back in third with Darrell Whitford there in fourth. Brandon Buffenbarger going to come out in that fifth position with Joshua Neal. Austin Smith right there with them. James Garland back in eighth with Corey Crowell there in ninth. Tyler Humphrey going to be scored back in the 10th position as Kevin Kazar still down pit road getting repairs done to the 28 ride. Adolfo Castillo, he's able to get that free past the lucky dog, and he gets back onto the lead lap here and rolls back out onto the racetrack as Wayne Garland, he's going to be down pit side. Same with Gary Wright, trying to get some heavy, extensive repairs here. We do see McKinney back out there, but McKinney looks to go a lap down here on the racetrack. So a tough break for the 76 machine as Outcast says, looks like 3-man race at the moment for the championship. The 3, the 5, and the 77. Excuse that, 76 is out there too. Yeah, 76 still out there too, but we do see the 76 now a lap down, I do believe, here on the racetrack. So tough break there for him, and I don't believe he's in position right now for a lucky dog, so he'll need another quick caution flight. So you do see Buffenbarger and Neal and Smith, the entire Midwest Motorsports crew heading back down pit side. Another extra stop down pit road here, making sure that they get that last little bit of fuel in, and maybe some tires now this time as well, maybe deciding to use them to their advantage. See drivers getting jacked up, Brand new set of tires being put on, and we'll roll back out there onto the speedway. This time, though, going to lose a little bit of track position to the rest of the lead lap drivers of Kevin Kazar and Wayne Garland, as I do believe Wayne is potentially a lap down now as well in the 84 run. We do know Cale McKinney definitely a lap down. Gary Wright a lap down. I do believe that Wayne is still on the lead lap, but I'll wait and see here. We've seen some craziness here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of back and forth, a lot of big hits, a lot of drivers running into issues, a lot of drivers trying to battle back through this one. Honestly, being a 200-lap race, 500 miles. It's normally, double the length of what we normally run on a regular weekend, maybe even a little bit more, maybe 60% longer than we normally race here on the Speedway. So it's very, very interesting to see how much these drivers are working out there, as Wayne is under power for sure. Wayne is definitely under power for certain out there on the racetrack. Hello, what's good? X3 Smith coming in, showing the love. Myth1all says hello, Peacemaker. Hello, how are you? How are you doing this afternoon? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful afternoon. I don't know how you want to pronounce that, if it's Smith or Myth or what you want to be called as, or X3, but we do say hello. How are you? How are you doing this afternoon? Hopefully you're having yourself a great day, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing, as in front, AC Gross. He's that green flag flying, quickly jumping back onto the lap panel, looking to try to lead the way here in the final, 52 laps of this race, 53 laps of this race, trying to pick up that checkered flag and the championship here this afternoon for that 77. But right there behind him is a couple of the Elite Sim racing rides of Robert Tuwiscu and Al Reed. Reed, one of our championship contenders, sitting there in that third spot, having himself a great day, ready to try to make some moves and see if they can pick up that championship for the Elite Sim racing crew here this afternoon, as James Garland there in position number 4. Kevin Kazar back in 5th with Tyler Humphrey there in position number 6. Daryl Whitford, Adolfo Castillo, Wayne Garland, and Brandon Puffenbarger are top 10 here on the racetrack. Puffenbarger is currently our third farthest back driver, the third in line for the championship right now. He's scored in that 10th position, but he's got all of his teammates right here behind him. That is obviously so well. Joshua Neal right there on his back bumper. Now Caleb McKinney, another one of our championship contenders, scored back in the 14th position. He is the first driver one lap down, hoping to see another caution flag and an opportunity for him to get back onto the lead lap and back into contention here this afternoon. Johnny Thunder's a little bit back there behind him, also looking for a wave around or a couple caution flags to get that lucky dog, get him back into contention here, as he scored back in the 15th position. But Kurt Sponsler there in 16th with Brian Newingham, Gary Wright, and Cameron Combs back there in 19th. Combs is scored in 19th position, and I do believe he is the 5th highest driver in our championship battle right now. Right there behind him in the 00 run, actually a lap behind Cameron Combs now, is Colton Manage. He's running out of connection issue again there for that 00 ride the second time here this afternoon. Worst time to have internet issues on a night like the night when you're battling for the championship, and that's really taken Colton and the wind out of his sails and his opportunity to kind of pick up a championship here this afternoon away from him, as he scored back in the 20th spot and now finds himself about 7 laps down here as well. So tough break there for Colton. Tough break for Mike Killingback, as we do see Killingback now down and out of this race. So Killingback is stuck in his car down behind pit wall. We do see Lancaster still down pit side. Chris Muse also taking his car off the racetrack, and I do believe Gary Wright also down behind pit wall as well. So officially Wright, Killingback, Chris Muse, and Dom Salvo all out of this race. 20 drivers still able to compete here this afternoon, if we see Chad Lancaster potentially roll back out onto the speedway. As out in front, Casey Gross leading the way here in this one, as Outcast says, I think we will make our time. Mr. Peacemaker, laugh out loud. I think we should make it as well. I think we should make it as well. It seems to be, 75 laps would be about, we're about 2 hours and 26 minutes since the green flag. So, what is that? An hour and 15 minutes for 75 laps? An hour and 10 minutes? An hour and 10 minutes or so for 75 laps. And we only got about 50 laps left to go in this race. So, I don't even know. Break that into thirds. What is that? 45 minutes per 50 laps? Something like that? I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. I don't think we'll have to worry too much about it. Yo, 007, Chris, my boy, Chris Mother Fluffin Muse coming in over there onto the Twitch stream as well to show the big love here in this one with the 200-bit donation, the 200 bitties coming in, show the big love here in this one. We appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the love here this afternoon. 200 bits here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys want to help us out or help us hit some of our goals here on PeaceMaker Gaming, make sure you guys hit that like button at least. You know, it's absolutely free to do. Hit the like, hit that share, hit that follow, and or subscribe button. If you're watching over on YouTube, become part of the PeaceMaker family here today. And if you want to help us out over there on YouTube as well, make sure you guys hit that join button. Hit the join button. Become part of the PeaceMaker sub club here this afternoon. Become part of the PeaceMaker subscribers and members group over there on the YouTube stream and or over on Facebook and Twitch, as well as membership opportunities available for everybody on all 3 of our streaming services. As even if it was an hour per lap or a minute per lap, yeah, a minute per lap, that's another hour. That puts us to 6:30, which is perfect. And then we can do our post-race interviews and everything else. It worked out perfectly for us. So I love that. At Biden, we don't have an enormous amount of caution flags late in this race, but being late in this race, already 75% of the way through this feature event and getting closer and closer to our checkered flag, we are going to jump into a very quick PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up, where I'm going to be able to hydrate as 007 and Chris coming in with the hydrate as well over there on Twitch with the Shenco points. We're definitely going to get hydrated right here, Chris. Don't you worry, brother. We got the NOS energy drink keeping us alive and alert here all evening long. Yo, Chris coming in again with another 100 biddies. Coming in with the lucky 4-leaf clover. Is that what that is? I don't know. Or the shamrock, I suppose that is. It says this, will this race be the luck leprechaun? Ooh, the lucky leprechaun. I don't know. I'm imagining you're thinking that this race may be that 3 machine of Al Reed. He's got the luck of the leprechaun on his back bumper. He's always had it on there. Is the man from Ireland, again, having another opportunity at a championship and sitting in that 3rd position, sitting pretty right now. Let's see if we're going to look at that lucky leprechaun on the back bumper as we jump into our PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up here to finish off season number 8 of the Outcast Racing League. As we're going to crank it up here for the final time this season. pit stops here for these drivers. Pit stops here as we do see a bunch of the Quantum Motorsports and Elite Sim Racing rides head down pit road. Things are going to get very, very interesting here in a quick hurry. We do see Kevin Kazar staying out there on the racetrack. He will lead the way. We do see some of the other drivers part of that pit stop here, but we do see the Midwest Motorsports guys. They're staying out here. They have yet to come down pit road for what could be the final pit stop of the day, and they're looking to jump out in front. So now our newest race leader here in this one, it is the 5 rider Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger back out in front here in this one. The 5 ride to the front of the field with his 3 teammates right there on his back bumper as they look to try to push him to what could be the championship here this year. Now they're starting to roll around some of the drivers that have made their way down pit side for the final time here this evening, as only, I do believe, about 34 laps left in this race, something like that. 34 laps left in this feature event. So finding we go to NASCAR overtime, maybe wanting to stay out that extra couple laps may have been a better deal than coming down so early, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out and where it works out for these drivers, as we do see, you know, Al Reed, Casey Gross still right there together. Al Reed looking down low underneath that 77 ride, looking to put Al into what could be the race-winning move right there. James Garland going to follow him right on by the 77 ride. So Casey now back into position number 10 on the racetrack. His teammate Adolfo Castillo there on his back bumper. Daryl Whitford in the 6 ride. Robert Tuiscu a little farther back there in position number 12 and 13 on the Speedway. Caleb McKinney still the first driver 1 lap down, but you see how close our race leaders are behind these other 2 drivers as, you know, they come down at corner number 4. Our race leaders are right there behind them, looking to try to put some more of these guys a lap down, but they also still have to make a final pit stop themselves here this afternoon as Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal out in front, but Tyler Humphrey right there with them in position number 5. Kevin Kazar there in 6. Wayne Garland there in 7th. He's back here in that 7th position. All still having to come down pit road here one more time this afternoon. Al Reed leads this secondary little bit of a group here as Al Reed, James Garland, Casey Gross, and Adolfo Castillo just trying to stick together, trying to roll out here at the front of the field and seeing if they can try to do the same bit of strategy that we saw out of the Midwest Motorsports crew earlier in this evening, as you know, we saw these 4 during that second stage. They came down pit road a little bit earlier. They stayed glued right together as the 4 of them, and they were able to make up ground and make up some time here. And enough that when they cycled back to the front of the field, they were out in front by about 20 seconds. So we'll have to wait and see if that may be the story here this afternoon, or if something else may happen. We'll have to keep an eye on them as they lead the way. Brandon Puffenbarger out in front. Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, Joshua Neal, Tyler Humphrey right there as well in that fight, with Kevin Kazar in there as well as our 6th place driver. Wayne Garland outside of these guys here. He's a bit farther back. He's in the 7th position. And unfortunately here, he's got a couple lap-down drivers with him. That's the 49 rider Kurt Sponsler and the 17 of Brian Newingham. Now, they are not too far away from potentially running into this secondary group of Al Reed and Casey Gross, Adolfo Castillo, and James Garland, as they all battle here for the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th position on the Speedway, and hoping to try to leapfrog themselves to the front of the field, finding, you know, some pit stops over the rest of these drivers. We'll have to wait and see. They have lost a little bit of ground here. I don't think they've actually gained any time or anything on that lead pack. That lead pack still with quite a bit of drivers locked together and really running single file. They're going to outrun this 4-car group in a quick hurry. But here you go. Drivers headed down pit side. Tyler Humphrey, first one in, making a big move to the outside, and we'll have to keep an eye on him, see if he was a little too fast entering or not. But here you go. The Midwest Motorsports drivers down pit side. That includes one of our championship hopefuls, the number 5 rider, Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger down on pit road, getting some repairs, getting his car fixed up, getting that fuel into the machine, and rolling back out onto the racetrack here. Take a look. There he goes. He is going to roll back out. Same with the rest of his team. They all want to try to stay locked together so they can have a good pack as they roll back out onto the racetrack. But we'll keep an eye on these other set of drivers here. Full head of steam here for Al Reed and Casey Gross, Adolfo Castillo, the 13 rider James Garland. As they're up to speed, they're rolling and they're catching up to these guys as they're just trying to get up to speed here. Down out of corner number 2. They're going to roll back in onto the racetrack, so they're able to open up the throttle here and start to put the power down, but they're pretty broken up, and that's going to really hurt them right now. You see Kazar and Humphrey separated quite a bit there between the second and third place drivers. Puffenbarger has the 82 of Joshua Neal quickly getting to his back bumper. They're quickly catching up to this 28, but they're going to try to leave that 28 high and dry as some blocks maybe being thrown right here as here comes Al Reed. Here comes that second group as they're coming into the picture in a quick hurry. And now this may be a bit of a fight for the front of the field here as you see all those cars. They're just kind of moving around here. Everyone kind of getting separated and drivers go in different positions and everything else. And the 3 ride of Al Reed almost had a bit of a hole right there to try to separate the top 4 of those Midwest Motorsports rides as they're still moving around. They're going to leave Caleb McKinney back here in the dust. That's going to keep McKinney back there as a lap down on the racetrack. A tough break there for 76 of McKinney is out in front. Leading the way is still technically the 84 rider Wayne Garland. Garland still out in front, continuing to lead the way here in this one. He is not giving up hope here in this race as he sits at the front of the field. But I do believe we're still going to have to wait and see this number 84 ride head down pit side as we do see Brandon Puffenbarger, Joshua Neal, the 20 rider Corey Crowell up in there as you do see the 23 of Austin Smith slides backwards ever so slightly. Now here comes Al Reed working together again with that 4-car pack here. Him and Casey Gross, the 31 of Adolfo Castillo, and that 13 of James Garland. Rolling the outside lane. Here comes Austin Smith. He'll get to the back bumper of his teammates again. So Midwest Motorsports down on the inside lane, and then we see the Elite Sim Racing ride of Al Reed in the Quantum Motorsports cars there to the outside lane. Our championship drivers, 3 of them inside the top 3 out there on the racetrack. Al Reed, Casey Gross, and Brandon Puffenbarger, 3 of our championship 8 here this afternoon, battling for what could be a big win this afternoon. Now you do see Casey Gross jumping down low. He's going to leave that 3 ride of Al Reed high and dry on the outside lane. That's going to move Al back and move Casey Gross to the front of the field here as the laps continue to click down on our season. Inching closer and closer. The 25 more laps left to go here on the season. Season number 8 quickly coming to a close here. We've seen so many highs and lows for all these drivers, so many ups and downs and beating and banging and battling close finishes and back and forth out here on the racetrack. And now we see it getting closer and closer to that time where one of these drivers will be crowned the champion, and only one driver can be our champion here on the season. And it's looking to be a good fight here. The pitch strategy, everything else working out perfectly here for some of these drivers like Rose and Al Reed, and they're sticking right there with that Midwest Motorsports group, but they're still 4 strong, 4 Midwest Motorsports drivers out there in this lead pack working together as they're going to roll around that double zero line quickly as Colton Manick's going to go a lap down right there as James Garland back here in the 8th spot. Austin Smith back there in position number 9. Kevin Kazar still in this fight as well at the front of the field. And same with the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey could still potentially pick up a checkered flag here himself, but unfortunately for him, he needs a quick caution flag. His teammate and his teammate that's part of the championship 8 here, Caleb McKinney, scored back in the 14th position. Even though he's part of this lead pack, he is the first driver on the racetrack. And he's looking for a quick caution flag out here on the Speedway. And as we continue to lay down some good lap times here, we do see Robert Turiscu in some more of these Elite Sim Racing rides. I'm not sure how far away they are from this lead pack, as it would be interesting to see how far away they actually are from that lead pack. I don't think they're very far away, but I guess more or less about 26 seconds. They're down the back straightaway right now. There's our lead pack here. Our main pack is That 6th ride, there's our lead pack going headed down into corner number 1 right now, so half a track difference, maybe a little less than half a track. Intrigued to see if the 6th rider to Isku, if he keeps falling back and giving up time to our race leaders, if they fall back into crafts here of our lead pack. You also see our race leader, Wayne Garland. He's starting to get caught from our lead pack as the 49 right also right there in there, as well as, unfortunately for Kurt's sponsor, he's once again going to have to still make another green flag pit stop. Same with Brian Newingham and this 84 ride, but Wayne Garland continues to lead the way here on the racetrack, but the lead pack catching up to them in a quick hurry. That Elite Sim Racing number 49 right would love to try to help his teammates out here at the front of the field as Al Reed found the lone duck out here at the front of the pack, as he's been getting some help and getting some hands here and there from some of these other drivers, but he's the only Elite Sim Racing driver inside that front battle here at the front of the field, and it's kind of a lone wolf out there and just trying to find some different dancing partners and trying to make the right moves at the right time and hope that he doesn't run into any problems late in this race, and that maybe he can find someone that'll help push him to the win late in this race, as Wayne Garland still leading the way, still yet to come back down pit road. He wants to soak up as much time out in front here on the season as possible. Wayne having probably one of his better seasons here, man. We saw Wayne lead a lot of laps. We saw him almost win some races here as well. We've seen that number 84 line have a great season, and he's out in front again. Can't wait to see him back in action and potentially trying to battle for that championship in season number 9 as he leads the way. But Brandon Puffenbarger, Al Reed, Kevin Kazar, and the rest of this pack trying to catch up to him in a quick hurry here, as you do see Nopal Castillo slide backwards here ever so slightly. You see the 77 rider Casey Gross coming backwards as well, so Casey going to slide back into about the 6th position, 7th position now on the racetrack, and back to his teammate here in that 31. It's Adolfo looking to try to size him back up, trying to push him back here to the front of the field. It's Tyler Humphrey right there, as well as James Garland, Joshua Neal a little farther back here. So one of those Midwest Motorsports drivers has lost that lead pack, and unfortunately for the 82 line of Joshua Neal, he's lost that lead pack, and that means that his Midwest Motorsports teammates are down to only a 3-car pack here in this battle. So losing an extra hand, an extra pusher, an extra shover, and an extra driver to help you out late in this race definitely may play a major factor here for that 5 ride, but still having a couple teammates back there sitting in that 4th and 5th position. As here you go, you are going to see Wayne Garland head down pit side. Here comes that 49 ride as well of Kurt's sponsor. He'll also come down pit road, so those drivers will leave that lead pack and they will head down pit side here in this one. Outcast says currently with the 3 guys still in contention, Al Reed is the only previous champion here between Brandon Puffenbarger, Al Reed, and Casey Gross. Can Casey, Brandon, or Al find their way into picking up that championship? Al looking for his second, and the other two looking for their first here in their careers with the Outcast Racing League. And right now, Brandon Puffenbarger out in front. He's looking to try to get the job done here this afternoon. You do see a couple of his Midwest Motorsports teammates. They're trying to start a second line here. They're trying to find something else to try to start making some moves, maybe get up here and help his teammate out. They don't want to see that 3 ride on his back bumper. If they see that 5 ride kind of get left high and dry, they want to be able to be up there on the outside groove to help them out, help them make their way in. Never have we had a repeat champion. Woo! So Al Reed could become the first ever repeat champion here in the Outcast Racing League. That's a tall task right there, man. That's a lot of pressure for Al Reed as you see them starting to shove a little bit harder, push a little bit deeper into the corners. Drivers moving around, shuffling around out there on the racetrack as we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag. This time by the start-finish line, 18 laps left to go here from Daytona International Speedway. 18 more laps left of racing action here this afternoon. In the 5 ride, Brandon Puffenbarger leading the way, knowing that he's only 18 laps away from being crowned our champion and picking up his first championship here in his career with the Outcast Racing League. But Al Reed and Casey Gross are right there ready to bounce. Casey does have his Quantum Motorsports teammate right there with him, that number 31 of Adolfo Castillo. Now, they've been working together with the Elite Sim Racing rides. They've worked together well with the 13 rider James Garland. They've been trying to make some friends here. Now, the Midwest Motorsports crew, they've been kind of hanging out a little deeper in the field. But very good, hard, respectful racers out there on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see where these drivers will go, how they're going to be able to navigate late in this race, especially with some lap traffic starting to come into play here as the 49 of Kurt Sponsor, another Elite Sim Racing ride, starts to come into the picture here to go a lap down again in the 84 rider. Wayne Garland potentially going to go a lap down as well. Now they're going to want to try to get some of the draft off these guys and join this lead pack, see if they can try to help out some of the drivers here in front of them, as see if they can find a lane to come into this fight and be a part of the show here at the front of the field. As no way now the first driver a lap down. That's going to be a heartbreaker here, but quickly Caleb McKinney going to move around that 70 or the 84 ride, and Caleb will stay in that free pass position now into the 13th spot though on the racetrack. So Caleb still hoping to see that caution flag, still wanting to see the yellow flag come out here, and him getting that free pass and back onto the lead lap here in this one to rejoin that fight for the championship, as he is currently our 4th highest running driver in the championship 8 here this afternoon, but he does find himself a lap down and scored back in that 13th position. And now Colton Manich back in 19th here. He is in that fight. He's going another lap down right there was the double zero. Unfortunately, back in 19th, he is multiple laps down. Same with the 18th place driver, the 15 ride here of Cameron Combs. Cameron also multiple laps down back in the 18th spot. So for a couple of our drivers, their opportunities have run out here this year. And Cameron Combs and Colton Manich, I can guarantee you, will not be our champions here this year. Both drivers still too many laps down here, and unless we have about 15 caution flags over the next 15 laps and 15 yellows, I don't think these guys are getting enough waiver rounds or free passes to be able to get their laps back here and leapfrog any of the other drivers that are in front of them. So a tough break for them, but still, Caleb McKinney only 1 lap down in that free pass spot. He's really hoping to see that caution flag come out in a quick hurry, so that way he can rejoin the fun here at the front of the field as this pack continues to get bigger. Some more of these lap down drivers start to regain and rejoin the rear of the field here as you see out in front, it's Brandon Buffenbarger who continues to lead the way, but Al Reed, our 2nd championship driver out there on the racetrack, sitting in that 2nd spot. So 1 and 2, 2 championship battles, or 2 championship contenders right there at the front of the field. Kevin Kazar, they're in 3rd. Really no affiliation with either of those drivers, so we'll have to wait and see if Kazar may decide to go with one or another, if Al decides to go higher, or the 5 ride decides to jump out there, or if he wants to just try to jump up here and win this race himself and make the move around him. But he's got to know that 2 of the Midwest Motorsports rides teammates of Brandon Buffenbarger are right there behind him, sitting in position number 4 and 5. And there you see that 3rd place driver in our championship hunt, the 77 ride of KC Gross, is Gross back here in position number 6. Adolfo Castillo, his teammate, right there behind him with Tyler Humphrey. 76 of Caleb McKinney, who's a lap down. Garland back there, and you do see Colton Manich and Wayne Garland and Kurt Sponsor, a bunch of lap down drivers there, as well as he's trying to stay here on the lead lap, trying to keep himself in his back position as he rolls to the outside lane. You see the double zero trying to work the outside groove as well, back around the 31 machine of Adolfo Castillo here on the racetrack, but we're inching closer and closer to the checkered flag, and we're still yet to see some big moves starting to be made here. I think these drivers are just trying to wait, be patient here, waiting for their opportunity to strike, waiting for an opportunity to really present itself, to see where they can make a move, where they can drive to the outside or to the inside, or see if some big runs start to come back behind them here. As now you do see the 77 ride of Casey Gross. Gross jumps to the outside lane here, picks up the double zero of Colton Manich. The 28 ride of Kevin Kazar tried to go with him here, but they split Kazar and move Kazar back a couple spots here, as Kazar unfortunately slides all the way back now into position number 8 on the racetrack. Here, the outside lane as they split this 28 ride kind of broke him up quite a bit, but now you do see the 31 of Adolfo Castillo. He's going to jump to the outside groove. He's going to try to get something brewing here on the outside lane. Now you're starting to see some more drivers move around here. Other drivers trying to get another lane going. Will we see 3-lane racing here to finish off this race? As there goes a couple of those other drivers, and now here comes Al Reed to go with them. Here you go. Battle in the front of the field. Al Reed jumps out. He jumps in front of the 9 ride. Tyler Humphrey and Al Reed's going to go to the front of the field. They lead the 3 Midwest Motorsports rides down low and by themselves here. Kurt Sponsler's down there with them, but now you do see a couple of different drivers right there, as those are teammates there in the 76 and that 9 ride, as the Misfits Racing Group breaking up some of these different drivers, some of the different strategies being played out here this afternoon, as now you do see the 5 jumping up to the outside lane in front of the Quantum Motorsports, number 31 of Adolfo Castillo and Casey Gross. He's trying to work his way back to the front of the field, and you do see Adolfo. He's going to split the middle there. He's going to jump up to the outside lane, lead that number 5 car high and dry, as now you see Tyler Humphrey jump out in front. So Humphrey jumps to the front of the field. He's going to take Caleb McKinney right here with him. Unfortunately, McKinney still a lap down. If McKinney was on the lead lap, he'd be right in contention, but contact. Around goes Al Reed. Hard into the 00 Colton, managing the caution flag will fly. A late race caution flag, and that's exactly what Caleb McKinney was looking for, as that will give him the free pass in, and we'll put him back onto the lead lap here this afternoon. Now, definitely not what Al Reed was hoping for here. Let's take a look here at Al and what happens to this 3 ride. I think Puffenbarger on his back bumper here. Not sure if he gives him a big shove or what may transpire between the 5 and this number 3. You see the pushing hard here down out at corner number 4. Stays glued onto him, and oh yeah, right there. You're going to see the 3 tries to stay glued to the double yellow line. The 5 ride kind of goes up a little bit more to the middle of the racetrack here on Ames, and he tries to get back in behind the 3 ride. Unfortunately, he just tanks him and turns him and puts him up the racetrack into the side of the 00 ride. Nowhere to go for Colton Manich. Kevin Kazar getting quite a bit of contact into that as well. Now Reed goes for a loop-de-loop as the Elite Sim Racing RT3 Designs ZZX Digital ride. The luck of the Irish, no luck right there, as heavy contact for him there into the outside fence, into a couple of those other drivers, as Caleb was involved, puts the 84 as the lucky dog. How was Caleb involved in that? Caleb was definitely not. Caleb's in front of Al Reed right here. Caleb's in front. Caleb never has anything to do with that one. That's a questionable call right there. Caleb is nowhere near these guys. He's in front of these 2. It's the 5 and the 3 of Puffenbarger and Al Reed that make contact. So Caleb was definitely not involved. There's Caleb in the black and pink car, staying glued to Tyler Humphrey. They're the 4 cars in front of that. Should be Caleb getting that free pass. The lucky dog should be the 76 ride. He was bumping his teammate. Bumping whose teammate? I don't know what you're looking at, fellas, but he was bumping him after the car is spun. Brother, Caleb is in front of any of the contacts. Caution flag is behind him. There's the yellow. Even bump drafts pulls it from him. 9. 76 bumped the 9 after they threw the caution. It took the lucky from him. That is insane. So right here, he doesn't even know that the caution flag's coming out. They're wrecking now behind him. Caution flag's still not out.
I would love to get like another angle. He's off of the 9 ride. There's the yellow, and he's off his teammate. The yellow flag's already out here. Yeah, iRacing is messed up. Even a touch will take it from him, but he never touched his teammate after the caution flag was thrown. You can see the separation right here. That's wild. If that takes Caleb McKinney's opportunity of picking up a championship away here, that is absolutely insane. But nonetheless, we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Out in front, it's Adolfo Castillo. Tyler Humphrey, they're in position number 2. Casey Gross, they're in third, with Braden Puffenbarger there in position number 4. And then we see back in the 5th spot, that is Corey Crowell, Austin Smith to his outside. And then we see James Garland, Joshua Neal, Daryl Whitford, Robert Tuisku, Al Reed, Wayne Garland getting the lucky dog back in the 12th position. Caleb McKinney back there in the 13th spot, still a lap down. Going to have to look for another caution flag and hope that he's nowhere near anybody when the caution flag comes out. I don't know how that lucky dog is deciphered or not, but apparently it's pretty messed up. I mean, definitely the first car in line didn't make contact after the caution flag was thrown and wasn't part of the caution, so that's absolutely insane. I don't know, it's iRacing that calls the lucky dog, has all season. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. I think if we have a standalone admin, we may have to make it so that the admin makes that call, because that is crazy, man. That is crazy. That is a tough break. And if I'm Caleb McKinney, I'm furious right now. If I'm Caleb McKinney. Is McKinney having an opportunity to pick up this championship? That caution flag would put him back onto the lead lap and sitting in that 13th or 12th position right now, potentially on the racetrack, as he was in 12th. But now Wayne Garland is in the 12th position and back on the lead lap. And I'd be fighting somebody, that's for certain. So we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Nonetheless, we may still see another caution flag and another opportunity for that 13 ride to get back onto the lead lap as we go back to green flag racing. Only 6 more laps left here from Daytona International Speedway. 6 more laps to decipher who will pick up our championship. As you see that outside lane pushing quickly here as Brandon Puffenbarger looking to try to jump back out in front, as he is currently our top positioned championship 8 driver on the speedway. As he rolls here at the front of the field, he's looking to pick up that championship. The 77 rider Casey Gross gonna get some contact. Casey goes around, nowhere to go. Now we get a little contact into that. Upside down goes the number 84 of Wayne Garland. Garland goes upside down the back straightaway is the big one late in this race. Oh baby, things getting out of control here this afternoon, and fortunately for Caleb McKinney, I mean, he technically makes contact again with the 6 ride right there, but that's what, oh man, look at that 84 line. After getting the lucky dog, getting back onto the lead lap, Wayne goes for a wild ride upside down right there, but we'll take a look back here and look from the chopper, as I do believe you're going to see the 76 of Caleb McKinney trying to make a move here. To shoot in the middle of Robert Tuisku. Now, I don't know if Tuisku came down or if they just run out of room right here as 76. I don't know if the 6 kind of comes down, trying to get back in front of him. Nonetheless, they make contact, and Tuisku comes down the racetrack into the side of the 77 to Casey Gross. Gross gets turned around here and trying to stay out of contact, trying to stay out of trouble. The 76 keeps on rolling, but unfortunately, back here behind him, you see Sponsler. He goes around. He gets a hard piece here of the Midwest Motorsports number 20 ride of Corey Crowell. Crowell gets a pretty good blick into that one, as well as he's trying to save his car from hitting the outside fence. Does a great job at that, but we do see Casey Gross, one of our championship contenders here, and actually I'm going to get tied up in this one. There's the 77 right turn around. Now Reed in there, Kurt Sponsler, Wayne Garland going upside down. Bunch of drivers getting some pretty good damage there down the back straightaways. Cautions breeding cautions here late in this race, and that's going to bring us even closer to potentially NASCAR overtime here this afternoon. As, man, this is definitely a tough one for these drivers, as Lots of big hits, lots of big wrecks, a lot of drivers running into issues here all evening long. And it's basically been survival of the fittest. Who can stay out there, who can keep their car in one piece and out of trouble. And fortunately for Casey Gross, it's a little bit of damage there. Doesn't look like too much damage for that 77 ride. So hopefully he's able to keep on rocking and rolling out there on the racetrack. And it does look like he will keep on rocking and rolling as he'll line up deeper in the field here, back in the 8th position. He's got Al Reed right there in front of him. You see Al now with that front end damage as well on that 3 machine. And fortunately, they're back in the 7th and 8th position. They see our potential championship driver here at the front of the field as Brandon Puffenbarger sitting there in position number 1. He is leading all of our Championship 8 competitors here this afternoon, and he is looking to pick up that championship. All he's got to do is keep himself out in front, and he's got some helping hands surrounding him right now. That 23 of Austin Smith, one of his Midwest Motorsports teammates, and same with that 82 of Joshua Neal. So having a couple teammates right there behind you, Tyler Humphrey back there in position number 4, and Adolfo Castillo, James Garland, our top 6, or rounding out our top 6. Your first championship contender outside of Brandon Puffenbarger is Al Reed back here in 7th. Casey Gross there in 8th. And then you look all the way back to the 13th position where you see Caleb McKinney back in 13th and still scored a lap down. We'll have to wait and see if he does finally get the lucky dog or if he'll stay a lap down after the contact there and a part of making that caution flag there is that one he definitely got into. Is Johnny Thunders back in 14th there in the Quantum Motorsports number 60 ride. Brian Newingham scored in the 15th position. Kevin Kazar now off of the racetrack here and out of this race. He has scored back in the 16th position. Cameron Combs still multiple laps down, but scored there in 17th. Kurt Sponsler down pit side. He has now scored in the 18th position for the 49 ride. Colton Manage there in the 00, scored there in 19th. He's also in pit road looking to get some big repair stunts still for the 70 or for the 00 ride. So for our 5th and 6th place competitors here in the championship, Cameron Combs and Colton Manage, their days have been all but done for quite a while here this afternoon, and definitely now without reach of being able to get their laps back and back into contention here this evening as Gary Wright, Mike Killingback, Chad Lancaster, Chris Muse, and Dom Salvo round out our field here of 24 drivers this afternoon. That started the day with only 6 drivers in this race. Hey, it's Kev says, "Sup, man? How's it going? What's good? What's good, mister? How you doing? How you doing, Kev? Hopefully you're having yourself a great day. Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful afternoon." As I do know it's not Kev, it's actually Mr. Ryan Haller up there in the comment section. But how are you, Ryan? How you doing this afternoon, man? As we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, Puffenbarger looking to pick up the win, looking to pick up that championship. Yo, what's good? Will and Gina coming in, showing the love. John JGR coming in as well, becoming a brand new follower here on PeaceMaker Family. Welcome to the family, John, coming in, smashing that follow button. Braden Carter also coming in with the like on the stream. How are you, Braden? Braden coming in, showing the love here in this one. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we are a green-white checkered finish away from crowning our Season 8 champion here with the Outcast Racing League, powered by Williamsburg Contracting, Shenco Custom Diecasts, RT3 Designs, and N Sea NSB. As quickly, Brandon Puffenbarger onto the lap pedal, jumps down low quickly in front of his 2 teammates. It's Austin Smith and Joshua Neal right there in 2nd and 3rd are going to try to keep everyone else back there at bay and look to try to push their teammate, the fine right of Brandon Puffenbarger, not only to the checkered flag, but also the championship. Is Wayne Garland running into more issues? Gets up into the outside fence. He's at the back of the pack. No no caution flag on the racetrack. Tough brink right there for the 84 ride. Is down the back straightaway. You do see, and it's Casey Gross, Adolfo Castillo. You do see that 3 ride of Al Reed. He's trying to get something figured out here. He's making some moves. He's going to try to leave Casey high and dry. He's got his Elite Sim Racing teammate right there with him. That's the 6 of Mr. Tuwiscu, but Tuwiscu and Casey Gross get together up into the outside fence. The white flag has been displayed. One more time around, no caution flag on the racetrack. A heartbreaker for Casey Gross is right there. That contact has taken him out of contention this afternoon as Brandon Puffenbarger continues to lead the way. It is the number 3 of Al Reed still left in the championship hunt. Back here in position number 5. Needs to find a big run to try to jump up here in battle for the race win in the championship here this afternoon. But a big block coming out of the 23. Al's going to jump to the middle. He's now in the back bumper. They're wrecking back here behind him. Here comes Colton Manich with the 3 and the 5 ride. Our 2 championship drivers gonna duke it out. Down to the start-finish line. They make contact again. More contact down across the line. It's Al Reed who's gonna pick up the win here at Daytona and the championship. Al Reed gets it done. The first and only repeat champion here in the Outcast Racing League as Al Reed gets it done and picks up the win here in a crazy last lap pass for the win here. We're going to have to go back and take a look at this one as wowzers. Some big moves being played here by all these drivers trying to work their way into victory lane or trying to help their teammates pick up this championship. We're going to see if we can take a look here from Al Reed, and what happens is Al trying to get a big shove here at a corner number 4. This is coming to the white flag. They leave the 77 high and dry. He splits the middle between Corey Crowell and James Garland as Tuwiscu, his teammate in the 77, and Casey Gross get tied together down across the start finish line. Al all of a sudden jumps up into that about the 6th position, 7th position, gets a great run underneath the 9 ride, now up inside the top 5. Here comes Caleb McKinney with a big run to the back bumper of the 20 of Corey Crowell. Now Crowell, he doesn't want to help that 3 right out, so he jumps to the outside lane to leave him high and dry. That's going to leave Caleb McKinney to get to the back end of this 3 ride. The 3 trying to jump up to the outside lane. The 23 right there on this final lap. He sees this big run coming. They lead the 82, the Midwest Motorsports ride of Mr. Joshua Neal, high and dry right here with the 31 jumping to the outside. The 3 ride right there with them. They come with a big head of steam. Now he's relaying that back to the 23 ride. Austin Smith jumps up to the outside lane looking to try to block that momentum, try to block that speed that's coming at them. And of course, as he does that, the 31 nowhere to go, gets into the back end of him. He loses a ton of momentum, but look at Al Reed. This is the move for the championship, the move for the race win right here. As Al Reed sees what's happening, sees that block being thrown, realizes that they're going to get log jammed right there, and quickly moves down underneath the 31 ride. As they get checked up there onto his outside, he jumps right down below them, jumps into that bottom lane as the 31 and the 23 make contact again. They're 4 wide right here, bouncing off each other as the 82 and the 76 of McKinney right there. They get tied together as the 31 and the 23. They go around with each other there into the outside fence, which leaves only 2 drivers left here at the front of the field to really battle for this race win. The 00 ride of Colton Manich, multiple laps down. You do see the 9 ride and a lot of these other drivers trying to work their way through some of that contact and some of that carnage. The 9 ride actually gets a great run around the 00, but then we watch this contact. Back to the start finish. So all that contact, all that beating and banging. Al Reed still has a pretty good run coming to the back bumper of his, from the back bumper of his car to this 5 ride. You see Puffenbarger, he's looking to try to jump up and block him, looking to block him, can't clear that 3 machine. So down the front straightaway, they end up making contact there, not once, but twice, a couple times here, as they're going to beat and bang. The 5, the 3, they both come up here. Not sure who initiates contact. Maybe the 3 coming down a little bit, the 5 also coming up. They're both trying to, draft each other, trying to get as much as they can out of each other, and they make a little contact right there. They both get bent out of shape, but the 3 ride able to use that momentum still to pull away and pick up that championship. What a run and what a drive for Al Reed as he gets the job done and picks up the win, picks up the championship here this afternoon. As Chris Muse says, congratulations, Al. That was actually an amazing move by Al, laugh out loud. It was a very good move right there by Al Reed, man. That was a heck of a run, heck of a drive right there. As Waddling Engine coming in says, what's up, dude? Let's get racing. Yes, Zersky. That was definitely a crazy finish right there. Crazy finish. Dirty win? I don't know, Kev. I don't know, Holler. I don't know if I would call it a dirty win or not. I mean, both drivers doing the same thing that they had to force him into the grass to almost win. I mean, hey, man, a win's a win. A win's a win, and when it's a championship on the line, you're going to do what you got to do, brother. It doesn't matter. Money on the line, championship on the line. If you're in that same opportunity, every single one of the drivers out there on the racetrack would have done the exact same thing that either Al or the 5-ride, a Puffenbarger, would have done right there. Both of them were looking to do the same thing. They were both looking to rub and scrub each other down to the start-finish line right there. Either one of them would have liked to wreck each other, but knowing that they don't want to officially spin each other out or one of the other out. And you know, they got enough respect to do that, but they'll definitely run each other tight, and I'm sure we'll hear that in the Discord as well. I mean, what else can you do, man? It's championship. You do what you got to do to try to put yourself into that winner's circle, and we're going to get ready to pull in one of our winners right now. As looking at it, it looked like the 5 tried to side draft the 3 and clipped him, and the 3 trying to catch his car. Exactly. I think that's kind of what we saw too. I think a lot of that was just both of them, you know, both trying to really side draft, both trying to stay on top of each other, and they both kind of, you know, battled top back to the line. They knew it was between the two of them. They knew that was the final run to the start-finish line. The checkered flag was coming out, and Al had a little bit more of a run coming out of 4 than what the 5-ride did, and I think that's what kind of hurt him right there. Hey, either way, laugh out loud. Hey, man, I'll see you in a couple weeks for our new season. Got a lot of new schemes for the 99 car next season. Let's go. Let's go, hey, Kev. I love that. Love that. But we can always have the what-ifs. Yeah, the what-ifs will always pop up. The what-ifs will always pop up. You always got to do what you got to do, man. Championship, money, championship, bragging rights, all of it on the line, and it's Al Reed who's able to get the win and the championship and all the benefits that come with it here, as we're going to get Al up into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Al, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy.
Aaron, how you keeping, dude?
Not too bad. Al, man, what a run, what a drive. Take us back through this one, man. A lot of up and downs throughout the day. A long day out there on the Speedway, 500 miles, and it comes down to the very end of this one where you're able to try to make some moves on that final lap and able to split a couple cars here and there. You finally get the run, and then all of a sudden, coming out of corner number 4, you see it's down to you and Puffenbarger for the championship. Basically, door to door, down to the line here. You guys make a little bit of contact, man. Take us back through it and what's going through your mind there after the contact between you and Puffenbarger to decide our championship here in season number 8.
So from my memory, anyway, we're coming out of turn 4. There's chaos happening behind us. I have a bit of a run on Puff. I go outside. You know, he moves up the block. I can understand that. I kind of get to the wall. He kind of moves up as well, do a bit of a pinch. I understand that. And then I don't know whether I came down or he came up, but it looks like we maybe met in the middle or something like that. Both our cars were very fishtaily, like, and I'm just trying to guide it towards the start-finish line. But can we get ESR guys up here real quick, if that's okay? Because I couldn't have done without them. You know, we worked.
Yeah, I can do that for certain.
Because we worked so hard this whole season that it wasn't just a solo effort. You know, like we said coming into it that we want to win this as a team for all 4 of us, you know, and like we said, no matter who's there, give them the push, because you know it's for the team. So I couldn't have done without these guys, and it's not just today, tonight, the 200 laps at Daytona. It's the whole season long. You know, the practice sessions we put in, the meetings we've had, the communication we've had, the messages going back and forth. You know, what should we do here? What should we do there? That type of thing. And ESR has done a sweep this season. We have the late model series. I won championship on that. Regular season champion, Cam. Well done, Cam, on that. And then we have the team championship, which I believe ESR has got as well. And now with the drivers championship, you know, we have that too. So ESR I think is really hit the pinnacle for ORL. I think I'm really, really proud of these guys and what they've done. I don't know, they might want to say a few words themselves, but these guys are what makes it fun on Sundays, you know, and throughout the week. And we do more stuff outside of ORL as well. We do like the endurance races. We run an endurance team. We do all the special events like upcoming Daytona 24 hours and stuff like that. So that's always fun to jump into Discord with these guys and just generally have a laugh, you know, be guys. But I don't know if any guys want to say it.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. This isn't a one-person effort, especially the way that we do the championship. So it's definitely nice. All 3 or 4 of us have each other's backs, and we're always trying to help each other and improve each other. And it's definitely not a single-person effort.
Yeah, I just came to party.
I will say, thanks to my teammates, I did improve over this season, and I'm very thankful for them. And it's definitely a good team effort, something we work on together all the time, every weekend or every chance we get. We get in a lobby, we talk strategy, we talk about our strengths or weaknesses, and we make them work.
Absolutely, man. The team, the crew coming together, race after race after race, is obviously accomplishing a ton of things here in 2024 and obviously in this season of the Outcast Racing League, and able to finish it off here. Obviously getting out across the start finish line, picking up that championship here. Absolutely amazing effort by each and every one of you guys, man. It's been a lot of fun watching you guys out there battling all these races and continuing to improve and get better. Like Kurt said, man, we've seen him improve so much throughout this season, and we can't wait to see what he can do in season number 9 of the Outcast Racing League and continue to see the Elite Sim Racing crew continue to win races and improve and make all the other drivers have to step up their game even more to try to put themselves into you know, the winner circle or the championship circle, as Al now the one and only driver to ever win a multiple championship here in the Outcast Racing League. So Al, how does that feel to be the only driver to ever win multiple championships here in the series?
It's incredible. I didn't really think about that, to be honest. That really hasn't crossed my mind. But real quick, I just want to say again, thanks to the ESR guys. They are an absolute mega to have in Discord with me. But I gotta give a shout out to Jacob at ZZX Digital. The Jacob's are incredible. Yeah, to do like digital marketing as well for real tracks and real racing teams. So special thanks to him for allowing me to have his stuff on my car. But yeah, thanks also to Anthony for the league, everything he does, the admins, and obviously yourself, Aaron. You know, you put on a very positive broadcast. That's what draws me to your podcast every time, the positivity and the love. So thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Al, congratulations on being crowned the champion here this year, brother. Absolutely amazing race, absolutely amazing season. We cannot wait to see you back in action here in season number 9 of the Outcast Racing League, and hopefully we'll see you try to defend this championship and maybe try to make it 3 championships now under your belt.
That's too much pressure. I'm not that far yet.
All right, brother. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there nonetheless. We can't wait to see you and all the Elite Sim Racing guys back out there. It's a great run, great drive, man, and we can't wait to see you guys back out in the next race.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our champion and race winner, Al Reed. As Reed picks up the win, picks up that championship just over top of our second place driver here in our championship. As Lance says, if only I had the chance to defend. Brother, we wish you were out there. We wish you had that chance to defend. That is for certain. As we're going to get ready to pull in our second place finisher here. It's actually showing me that Tyler Humphrey finished in position number 2. Now I gotta go back and check that out. Did Humphrey end up beating that 5 right back to the start-finish line here? That's gonna be very interesting to me. I want to see how that finished. As he comes with a big head of steam, somehow gets through all this mayhem, all that chaos there. Coming down through 3 and 4, still carries all that momentum. Here's Al Reed and jumps to the outside, and as Al and the 5 made contact. You do see the 9 ride made that a lot closer to finish than I expected. That number 5 ride up Puffenbarger back down across the line. I thought they were so far out in front that no one was going to be able to catch them, but he got that run, and man, he almost took that win away from Al Reed, too. If he had another 100 feet, if this was Talladega, it might have been a whole different story for Tyler Humphreys. He may have been in that top spot. So we're going to get ready to pull Tyler up and into the broadcast booth here after Tyler coming home in position number 2, and then we'll pull in our third-place finisher and our second-place driver in the championship. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here at the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I do, Aaron.
Tyler, man, a great run, a solid drive all evening long. Obviously a long one, a lot of ups and downs out there on the racetrack, but you're able to make it all count there in those closing laps, that final run. You're able to make some moves, and you put yourself up into that second spot there after a crazy final set of corners here as you were able to split quite a few drivers going around and wrecking there in front of you, and somehow or another you make it through all the chaos, all that mayhem, and find your way up into position number 2.
Yeah, that was definitely a wild race. I feel like it was pretty clean for most of it. We had a few wrecks here and there, but never really like a major big one. But coming to the line, I mean, I finished in the top 10 in every race I've started this season. So I had the goal of trying to do that again today, and I don't think coming to 1 to go I was in the position to do that. So going into 3 and 4, I was just like, I gotta keep my foot down, and just if I wreck, I wreck. But you know, just gotta see what you can get. And I was like, I thought I was gonna catch Al there for a minute. If they both spun down to the inside, I was like, this win could be mine, which is just crazy to think. After I think I was in 9th or 10th place going into 3. So yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, definitely a wild finish there, and as you said, you know, you saw that contact between the 3 and the 5 right as they were battling back to the start-finish line, trying to, you know, sign draft and trying to get as much as they can out of each other there. If they had a little bit more contact, you know, they were very close to, you know, spinning each other out right there down across the line where you were they're close enough to be able to still steal that second-place finish away from Puffenbarger, but you were right there as well, and maybe another. You know, if this was Talladega, you probably would have won this race over Al Reed because you were coming with that big head of steam, and Al just in front of you there across the line.
Yeah, it was amazing right there. I mean, if it was Talladega, I think I could have got it. But I'm so happy Al won this championship. He's a great dude, always a clean racer. I know that last lap coming out of the 4 was a little scrappy, but I think it was just really hard racing. He did a great job, and watching them both save those cars, like I said, I thought I was going to win that. So I was like, with them saving it, I was like, okay, Al's got this, and he's going to win. He deserves it. He's been here, I think, every race this season, and has been in this league for a very long time. So I'm happy for him and Brandon for racing so clean and being able to get it to the finish in P3.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Tyler, another great run, another great race here to finish off this season. Now, obviously, we didn't see you here full-time this year, but hopefully next season we'll see you back in here, you know, more and more throughout the season. See you pick up some more good finishes, some more wins, and maybe being a part of the playoffs yourself here for season number 9, as you were definitely a threat out there for a lot of the playoffs here this year. Every race that you were in, as you said, you finished inside the top 10, and that consistency, what could potentially win you a championship here next season.
Yeah, for sure. I hope I'm able to compete in a few more. It was just really hard with this holiday season, so I aim to compete in as many races as possible next season, that's for sure.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to it, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack. But Tyler, who would you like to thank, man, for such a great run and great season here with the Outcast Racing League?
Oh man, Aaron, I'd like to thank you. I mean, you have done an amazing job. I cannot wait to go back and watch those final few laps and hear the amazing calls you've done. This league I mean, they put so much money into this. It's amazing. I appreciate Anthony and Wayne and James and all of our admins we have making this thing go around. Team Chevy, Misfits, James, Caleb, Lance. This season they have all helped me greatly, and I really appreciate it. My sponsors, Muscle and Poodles, The Bar Distillery, Landesco, and Isabel's Impact. I cannot wait to be back here next season. Thank you all.
Absolutely, Tyler. Congrats on the great run here tonight. We cannot wait to see you back out there on the racetrack. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Tyler Humphreys. Humphrey comes home in that second spot as we'll bring in our third place finisher. Number 5 rider, Brandon Puffenbarger. Let's pull Brandon up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Brandon, it's Aaron up here on the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Brandon, man, a great run, a great race from you and the Midwest Motorsports group all afternoon, man. We saw you guys running some different strategies, honestly, some different things here and there. We saw you making those additional pit stops, making sure that you get your cars full of fuel every chance you got, and everything working out pretty good there. Then late in the race, obviously, a couple late race caution flags. It builds the intensity up, and all of a sudden, you see some big moves being pulled back there behind you. Al Reed makes his way through there, coming with a big head of steam, gets to your outside, and then right there, headed down to the checkered flag to where you could have potentially been our champion. Little contacts made, the two of you guys just battling tough there down through the tri-oval. Obviously, that contact slowed you down enough that it put him in front of you and picking up the win in the championship here this season, man. Take us back through not only your race, but that contact there at the end between you and Al.
Yeah, it was a good race overall. We were just trying some different pit strategy compared to what we thought the field would do, just to limit mistakes if we pit with the field besides ourselves. But yeah, we had solid strategy. We're just trying to keep as much fuel in it as possible at all times, just so that last stop was less than what we needed for fuel. And then, yeah, final lap, I just told, well, to restart, I told Austin I was going to start on the outside, drop down after the line, and I just told him to let it eat, just to see if we could do it that way. We've been up front a couple of these and lost them various ways. So, but the contact, yeah, I was just trying to pull him back, see if we could do a little drag race down to the line, and I think I got into him just ever so slightly and caused contact. As soon as we hit, I let off the gas so we wouldn't wreck through the tri-oval or anything like that.
Absolutely, just good, hard racing right there, and you come up virtually, you know, a couple car lengths shy, you know, a couple 100 meters short of picking up the win in the championship here this season, man. But nothing to hang your head about, man. A great season all season long, having, you know, multiple wins and multiple great runs out there on the speedways, and being able to come up that close and having that much of an opportunity to try to pick up the championship, man. It was almost picture perfect night for you, but right there at the end, Al was able to steal this one away from you, man. But a great run nonetheless, Brandon. Who would you like to thank for not only a great run and a great drive here this afternoon, but so many good races throughout the season here at the Outcast Racing League?
You for putting on the show, obviously it's top notch. The admins for putting the show on. All the guys that come out weekly, it's a lot of fun racing with this group. My team for helping me with strategy and trying to keep me out of trouble all race. And congrats to Al on the championship. It's well deserved.
Absolutely, definitely a hard-fought win right there for Mr. Al Reed here this afternoon, but a tough one for yourself as you come home second in the championship. Still a great run, great drive, and a great season for you, Brandon. Congrats on the great run and great season, and we can't wait to see you back out there for the next season here with the Outcast Racing League, and hopefully, you know, maybe the tables will turn, and next season you'll be able to beat Al back to the line and steal the win away from him.
Yep.
Beauty. Brandon, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and congrats again on the great season.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 5 rider, Brandon Puffenbarger. As Brandon coming home in position number 3 out there on the racetrack. Also coming home second in our championship here this year. A great run and a great drive, though, saw Al Reed picking up the championship here this year, as Al Reed able to get it done, picking up that championship and pulling that 3 ride into victory lane here at Daytona International Speedway. A heck of a run, a heck of a drive, and a heck of a performance. And of each and every one of these drivers, man, they put on one heck of a show, one heck of a race all afternoon, man. These guys put on a great show, great series for us. You can't thank each and every one of them for jumping out there, having some fun, battling hard, continuing to race out there on the Speedway, and battling right down to the start-finish line here, man. We can't thank everyone at Outcast Racing League for jumping on board and being a part of the show here, all the drivers, all the fans in the stands, everyone that makes this possible, and obviously all of our amazing sponsors. Williamsburg Contracting with the Williamsburg Contracting Racing and Land N Sea NSB, Shenco Custom Diecast, RT3 Designs, LLC. We can't thank all of our amazing sponsors enough for being a part here of the Outcast Racing League for another amazing season, another amazing race, and we can't wait to hopefully have them all back and making things bigger, better, and more awesome again for season number 9 of the Outcast Racing League NASCAR Cup Series. As unfortunately, that's going to do it for us here in this one, a long one. Normally, obviously, our races don't go 3 hours, 4 hours long, but this one obviously does 500 miles, 200 laps here at Daytona International Speedway, and only one winner in one championship here this afternoon. It's Al Reed. So a huge congratulations again to Al with that win in the championship here this year, and we can't wait to see all these amazing drivers back in action next season, which is hopefully going to be only a couple weeks away, and when we get the next season up and running here with the ORL crew. And we'll be back in action here. I actually got a second race to do here tonight. We'll be back live in probably about 15-30 minutes from now, as we got a big money race coming up next. The Dirt Street Stocks in action for tonight for the Santa Jaws 100. And there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of very talented drivers, some of the best in dirt racing in the simulator, gonna be in attendance battling for the win and for the money here tonight as the Santa Jaws 100 will get underway here just after 7 o'clock Eastern time. And I can't wait and hopefully see each and every one of you there. But thank y'all for tuning into this one for our series finale of the Outcast Racing League season number 8. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you guys back here in just a little bit.